The thoughts, views, and opinions are that of my own. I'm not a salesman. I cannot be bought. This is all entertainment. Let's go.
The cipher. It's the new cipher.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Peace. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. This is your host EQ, and welcome to
the cipher.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
The cipher. It's the new cipher.
Peace. Let me see fire in the chat. Make sure we good. I see fire, so I know we good. How y'all do? What y'all doing today? Let me put this down. Y'all know what y'all came here to see. Heat.
The cipher.
Drink of the day, I'm gonna finish off this Widow Jane, 10 years. This is I believe Brooklyn pour, Brooklyn bourbon.
The cipher. It's the new cipher.
Yeah, what it do? Hope y'all feeling good today, because I know I am. Happy Thursday. This should have came out yesterday on Hump Day, but things happen.
It's the new cipher. Mic check.
Peace, and more peace. It is a vibe, y'all. What it do? This was supposed to come out Wednesday. As y'all know, I'm trying to keep a regular scheduled program every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, dropping videos. Yesterday, got off work late. I was tired, bro. It wasn't no way I was going to be able to come in here and give y'all energy. It would have been like fake energy, a whole bunch of acting. That ain't never been my cup of tea, which is why first impressions work for me, because if I'm not feeling it, you're going to see it on my face. Like, I don't hide how I feel about something. It just kind of is what it is. So 74 people on the like, please, by all means, if you are new here, welcome. If you old here, the least you can do is hit the like button. It literally costs you nothing to hit the like button. If you ever want to be in the chat and comment with the chat, because if you're watching, you should watch the chat. Some funny things are happening in the chat. You need to subscribe. I'm never going to turn subscribers off in the chat. So if you want to be able to chat with the other family members, please, by all means, hit the subscribe button, check in. Appreciate the DMV love. Why is this not? Let me make sure this is not working. I just want to get it on the screen, and I don't know why it's not working. I see the thing, but hold on. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube live on my screen. Just trying to get it up so I can be able to see the comments. I can see the comments better from there. Unlike my old channel, it just didn't. Let me get that going. All right, well, whatever. That's not working. I don't know why that's not working, but we're going to make it do whatever it's going to do. Let me turn the volume down just in case it does work. Peace, y'all. How y'all feeling today? Again, we got 92 people in the live. I like the 92. I like the pressure. Y'all bring. I'll try to maybe have my phone right here so I can look down on my phone and see some of the comments in the chat from there, since I can't put it up on the big screen for whatever reason. So we'll figure that out. All right. I think it might be Working now. All right, the commercial's on. It's working now. I wanted to get that up. So, for those of you new here, today's live is going to be about my 10 most complimented Boadicea fragrances. My 10 most complimented. As most of y'all who aren't new here, if you are, a lot of y'all going to ask a lot of questions about the fragrances. Now, I'm trying to do a show, if nothing else, for replay value. If you've been subscribed, you'll see that a lot of this content is broken down into a more condensed content on the video side of things. So when I do this live, I kind of have to do it with the fact that I'm going to be editing and chopping this video down in a more condensed version. So in order to do that and make it more of a cleaner edit, I can't be going back and forth answering questions with you. So talk amongst yourselves, help each other out. This is ranked. And after I finish doing the video, my top 10, I will then answer whatever questions you have and we can chop it up and talk. Y'all got me? So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into it. Peace, peace, and more peace. Welcome everybody who is here today. If it's your first time visit, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out. Today's video is going to be about my 10 most complimented Boadicea fragrances within my collection. Now, I can't speak for everybody on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or anywhere else, but I'm always around people, professionally or socially. I'm always around people. I'm outside per se. So these are compliments that I have gotten. Some from could be co-workers, but most of these are from strangers or environments or situations that I've been in. And I know some of y'all gonna say, well, I've had 60 fragrances. I haven't always got compliments. Well, are you in social spaces where those happen? If you're just in Target, you may or may not get a compliment. Some of those we'll talk about. But with that said, this is from that list. I'm not ranking these by what I think of the fragrances, my favorite fragrances, because there's fragrances that are some of my favorite Boadiceas that are not on this list. If I rank my favorite, this list would look a little different and it would be ordered different, but that's not the case. Again, when I'm outside and I'm wearing these fragrances, this is what I have been mostly complimented on. I first got into Boadicea, I want to say around 2018 is when I started getting into the house, long before they ever showed up on discounters. And from my first smell, the first fragrance I ever smelled was Blue Sapphire, and I was absolutely blown away, and it was a wrap from there. Then I went down a rabbit hole. And back then, like if you wanted something, you kind of had to pay for it. Nowadays, Blue Sapphire you can find for like $360. Back in the days, that was in the $1,000 range. But before we do the video, because I don't want to talk too long and wrap this up too long, here are some of my disclaimers. Again, if your favorite fragrance isn't on this list and you get a lot of compliments with this said fragrance, good for you. Congratulations. You don't need my affirmation. This is my list. These are about fragrances that I've worn, that I've received compliments on. That's how it's ranked. Not by what I like, based on the compliment factor, the compliment rating of a person who is outside and around people all the time. All the time. So, with that being said, I'm going to talk quickly about 4 honorable mentions that are not on this list. I'm going to try to keep them brief. But the reason I'm talking about these 4 are they teetered. They were real close with being number 10, like extremely close with beating out number 10. And I just think they need to be discussed. And there's reasons why they didn't beat out number 10, and I will discuss each reason on why they didn't beat out number 10. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start with the first honorable mention. The first honorable mention is just a likable DNA. Very extremely likable DNA. As we enter into autumn, for those of you who have true winters in wintertime, there is no surprised on why this fragrance would be highly complimented. From the house of Boadicea, and I don't even know why I need to say that because all these are Boadicea. This is Amethyst. Amethyst. Now, the beauty with this fragrance and why this didn't make it into the top 10 list, not because it's not a good fragrance, it's because I just haven't had enough time or wear around people. What does this smell like? You get leather, cinnamon, this ambery vanillic nuance, the amber and a hint of smoke. It's like a hint of smokiness that wraps the fragrance. Now, it can go into that angel shares kind of Wajan family, but I don't get that with this fragrance. But I do understand why it would be in that family because I also don't get the whole apple pie nuance with this. But this is cinnamon done to perfection. This is cozy. I have received compliments on it, but it just wasn't enough to beat out number 10, but mostly because I haven't worn it as much as I've worn number 10 and I haven't been around enough people. But had I've had more burn with this, it probably could have beat out number 10. So this wasn't like a case of not winning or smelling less than. It's just a case of where I've been when I worn this. With Amethyst, where would I wear this? Like part of this gives me elements of the King, because I believe the King has cinnamon, amber, and leather. So if you take some of the boozy aspects out of the King and just kind of strip it down, you almost get like a base or the overall composition of the King without booze in this fragrance. And I love the King. That's like plum Japanese. Yeah, man, it's good. It's cozy. Where would I wear this? To me, this is if you live somewhere where it's wintertime, snow, scarf, you can wear it daytime or nighttime if you live in that kind of environment. If you don't, this is a great nighttime scent, great date night scent. It's cozy, it's warm, it's comforting. It's Amethyst. Honorable mention. Moving on. Next up is, I believe I got this fragrance in 2018, maybe, or 19 as well. This is a fragrance that is very alluring and seductive. This fragrance is one of the most perfect date night fragrances you can choose. Nothing about it is bad. It just wraps the wearer in this exotic, comforting rose that is to die for. It is a fragrance that when somebody says, I want to get into the house and I don't want to buy nothing too expensive, but I kind of want to be in this like lower tier kind of from the house, this is one I always recommend. And this is Ardent. Ardent. And you can see the dent in this. This has got much burn from me. What do you get here? You get rose and patchouli. You get some spices, some aromatic spices in this, some saffron, tons of saffron. It's sweet. You get this honeyed florals. Think of a rose, a beautiful blooming rose, drizzled in honey with a almost like earthy, dry, slightly velvety amber, warm with some patchouli. And the patchouli isn't too, it's green. It doesn't go too chocolatey. This has been compared to fragrances like Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. I find them to be different. But I do understand how they can be in the same family or the same category. If you have that fragrance, you might not need this. If you have this, you definitely don't need this. I find this to be better, superior. The love from a rose fragrance like this is almost teeters on gourmand. This is neck nibbling, seductive, and alluring, and that's Ardent. Next honorable mention. Yeah, bro. These two fragrances I mentioned aren't in the top 10. It is what it is. If it was my choice, it probably would have made it, and especially this next honorable mention. This next honorable mention and the last honorable mention, I'm almost upset I couldn't put this in the top 10. I really, on a personal level, would have loved if this was number 10. But from a compliment thing, it lost by a little. It's just a little bit. This is the fragrance that when I'm in Facebook groups or in fragrance spaces, it's mostly Facebook groups. You find more novices there, honestly. And when people go on there and they always say oud smells like manure or oud isn't compliment getting, that's because all y'all do is wear $20 cheap clones, or your idea of oud comes from Mancera or Montal. When I smelt this rose oud fragrance, it changed the game by the amount of compliments I got. At that point, I started exploring oud from a more high class and better quality. This is universally loved and gets compliments. This is Namir. Namir. Again, wonderful dent. This fragrance here, when I tell you when it comes, this is signature scent worthy. Christian Provenzano did his thing on this. He did it so much that he recreated this fragrance in like 4 other brands. He did Pearl Oud from Kilian, and this smells very close, almost identical. But this is something about this, and it's the oud in here that is extremely buttery. It is warm, it is wearable, it is buttery. I believe some Indian oud is in here, and I believe that's the tiger oud. Bro, up top, you get some citruses, lemongrass. So it has this brightness to it, which is why this is signature scent worthy for me. It could be 90 something degrees out. I would wear this. It can be cold, 40 degrees. I would wear this. I have. This gets the people going, leaves an amazing scent trail. I absolutely adore this fragrance. Now, there's another fragrance that is new to my collection that people say is similar. They say they're identical. I disagree. And that's Alsif from the Kuwait collection. I'm glad I really didn't listen to people when I got it. The only similarities to this, saying these are alike is like saying cognac and bourbon taste and smell alike. If you're a bourbon drinker, and just because they both came out of cherry oak cask, it's saying they taste alike. No, they don't. While this, especially smelling them side by side, while this goes into more lighter, more citrus, more brighter realm, especially with that lemongrass and citruses up top, and the way that rose is very citric forward, this is more plummy. And when you first spray this on, I believe Cambodian oud is in here. There's a little funk to it that lasts for about 2-3 minutes, probably like more like 1 to 2 minutes. There's a funk here. There is no funk here for me. And that's where it's separated. Now, as it starts drying down, it can come a little closer. But again, saying these Namir and Alsif smell alike is like saying cognac and bourbon taste alike and smell alike. And if you're that kind of person, I don't trust your nose. But anyway, my last honorable mention is Namir. Alsif is more of a newer addition to my collection. I got this earlier this year, maybe around March, April. So this is being darker. Oh, this winter and autumn is going to get burned. Major burn. Those are my last honorable mentions. My last honorable mentions. Okay. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, one more honorable mention. One more honorable mention. This should be in my top 10. But I'm being honest. This is an honesty list, not what I like list. The only reason this next fragrance isn't in my top 10 is because I haven't had it in my collection long enough to make it. But when I have worn this fragrance, I have received unsolicited compliments from women out and about. One was in Target. I passed her. I seen her turn her head. I was getting some stuff, and she was like, "That smells really good. What is that?" And we had about a 2-minute talk. She had a little collection. She said she wore like Delina and some more stuff. And it was like a quick in and out talking fragrances. But this is Hanuman. I just haven't had it long enough to burn. Had I had it longer, it would have made it. It would have definitely made the top 10. It would have at least bumped 10 out easily. And as I get more burn out of this, because I'm going to wear this in the autumn and a lot in the winter, I expect it, if I come back and revisit this list, that it will be higher. What is this? This is an overly priced and expensive rendition of Bald Freak. Now, I find it better than Bald Freak. I find it slightly better than Contratto. I prefer Contratto from Sospiro better. I prefer it more. But this is brighter. The citruses, the orange, take price away. Take bang for buck and price point out of the conversation. Imagine every fragrance on the planet is $200. That's the top. That's where they top tier at. Every fragrance, $200. This would be superior to all of them in that category. It works like a champ. I cannot wait till next spring because I'm an environment kind of guy when I wear my fragrances. Next spring, it's going to get the most burn. I expect to have only 50. I expect half this bottle will be gone by the beginning of summer. I'm going to get burned in this. And that's Hanuman. That is my last honorable mention. Now it's time to shock the world because some things you're not going to expect to be on this list is going to make the list. Okay. Coming in at number 10. This is my first Boadicea fragrance I've ever purchased. This fragrance, even though I sampled, this was the first I purchased, which is why I was in a 50 ml. This fragrance I would describe as beautiful, plush. It is a white floral dominant fragrance, which makes it great for spring. But you have notes like ylang-ylang and jasmine, and I believe neroli's in here, that makes this floral composition, gives it this creamy aspect. This is a rose oud, but it has bright citrus. You can wear this in the summertime. And this is Chariot. Chariot. Yes, y'all would not have expected. Chariot has gotten me some of the wildest compliments because it's just damn right gorgeous. If I was going to say and rank all my Boadiceas I have in my collection, just straight up rank it, this wouldn't make my top 20 probably. Probably wouldn't make my top 20. From the house that I have, it wouldn't make my top 20. But this is a list about compliments, not what I like. It's what I've worn, been outside, and people have raved and complimented me on. Chariot. You have, I believe, some lime and maybe some bergamot up top. It's tons of citruses up top. Tons of citruses up top. But it's all about the heart here. The heart with those florals and white florals is what makes this fragrance. But now you'll say, well, EQ, that sounds really feminine. And yeah, it kind of teeters. It's a great juxtaposition between the masculine and the feminine because in the base, it's heavy woods amber, some musk, your traditional just woody, ambery, musky oud kind of fragrance. The oud isn't funky. It's extremely wearable, yet dry. Highly complimented for me. Highly. And I don't need much sprays. I don't need much. This is more of a sillage monster than a room filler. And that's Chariot at number 10. Moving on. Moving on at number 9. This fragrance is, when I rank blue fragrances in general, this is one of the best out on the market. What I love about this fragrance is the complexity. And this is why sometimes when I buy fragrances and I'm willing to spend a little bit of money, I don't go with the clone. Most of the times, clones give you the best version of the fragrance or the end. But to wear this fragrance and enjoy this fragrance, you have to go on a journey with this fragrance. It has so many facets and nuances that makes it absolutely divine. An impeccable summer fragrance, but even more all season around. And this is Azrak. Azrak. Now with this, man, when you want to talk about compliments, Azrak gets the people going. When you first wear this, you get this spice, this spicy citrus. I believe pineapple is up top. So you get this tropical nature. No, when people hit pineapple, they think of a Ventus. No, you don't get that. But you get these spicy fruits. But you get this aquatic nuance within the fragrance that comes from, I believe, Lily of the Valley. I believe Lily of the Valley is in here. Christian Provenzano used it the way Cavalier uses it in all of his fragrances. He uses it in Louis Vuitton. He used it in Issey Miyake when he did that. Whereas you don't have this cologne kind of aquatic. It's almost like rain, but not petrichor. It smells like water, even though most would say water doesn't have a smell. You get like elements of like a little bit of Eau Purpura, a little bit, but not really. But in the base, it goes into a really woody, masculine thing with the ambery woods, the musk. It is, oh man. This is another fragrance. If somebody said, I'm getting into the house, this is one of the affordable ones. I believe on discounters, and maybe after this video or when I do the edit of the video, I'll have a lot of links for where you can find this. But this is one, I believe you can find this some places, man, for around definitely under $300. Definitely under $300, you can find this fragrance. It lasts, I get 8+ hours on skin. In the air, it is absolutely to die for. And that's Azrak. Highly complimented. Highly. If Azrak is highly complimented, for those who know, that means everything else before it is like through the roof. Coming in at number 8. Coming in at number 8. Some of y'all will be surprised that this is at number 8, but you won't be surprised that this is on the list. This is an absolute beast of a fragrance. This will fill a room. This embodies the wearer of confidence. This is regal, royal, and one of the best-selling fragrances from the house. No further ado, it's my second favorite fragrance from the house ever. And this is Blue Sapphire. Blue Sapphire. Yes, at number 8. Candied lemons. Candied. Think lemon heads, candied fruits, indolic jasmine, honeyed florals, ambery woody base. The indole in the white florals is really what gives it its animalic tinge. It's not the oud. The oud is dry. It hints at a leathery feel at times. This fragrance, the opening is like 4 hours. It doesn't really transition until like hour number 5. This fragrance is just a conversation starter fragrance. As those who have saw it, I had alternatives to this fragrance. I did a video of alternatives to this fragrance. None of them can stand up to this. And mostly because of those honeyed florals in the way the jasmine is used in comparison to the other ones. This has way more depth than the other ones. Sorry, not sorry. I own them. I've worn them. But this composition, whether it be those other alternatives or this, I let one of my contractors, one of my friends, smell one of the alternatives. He said, bro, I can't leave your house without, let me buy that off you. And because I have like 3 or 4 different alternatives to this kind of fragrance, I just sold it to him. But this, when going out, you go out at night, you go to a bar, it's going to draw people in. Blue Sapphire, the real blue beast at number 8. Moving on. Coming in at number 7 is a fragrance. I love that first sniff. Now, when I run out, would I try to grail find this fragrance again? No, I'm just going to be kind of done with the DNA, but I don't think it'll run out. When you want to talk about longevity, sillage, something that attacks the nostrils, something that has women asking, what are you wearing? This does that, and it does it to almost perfection. There's a reason why it will, and we'll go into it. Coming in at number 7, this is Celestial, the Spain exclusive. These fragrances are now in the Spirit of Kings exclusive because I believe Boadicea sold the rights. So now they're in Spirit of Dubai's upper echelon, the Kings, Spirit of Kings exclusive, and it's still named Celestial. But what is this? I remember when I started wearing this, I loved it at first sniff. There's a reason for it. And I was like, but it reminds me of something, which is not far-fetched with dealing with this brand because they take DNAs a lot and do slightly different variations of it. But this fragrance is Delina on steroids. Delina on steroids. Which is why it gets the love that it gets. That light, that lychee is sweet, it's fruity. The rose that's used here is this raspberry, this jammy raspberry experience with this citrus experience that makes almost like this sorbet wear with the lychee, makes this sorbet kind of wearing, which is amped up. But there's a spice in here. Is it rhubarb? I'm not looking at the notes, but there's a spice in here along with the woods, to me, that are turned up more here than where they are in Delina, which I don't really want to say makes it more masculine because it's still a rose-leaning fragrance in very much Delina. But there's this at least off of my skin, there's this like masculine edge that sets in the background and watches and lingers, but really doesn't want it to. It plays the background. But it is feminine forward. But when I tell you, if you are around women and you wear this and you have a sense of like you exude masculinity anyway, this will balance it out. I'm telling you, the way the fruits are at the top, for this fruity, not tropical, but not experience. Like I said, it's almost like a sorbet. Gorgeous. People will ask, what do you smell amazing. That's the kind of compliment you smell amazing. You get those kind of adjectives. Not you smell good or that's nice. It'll be like, that smells amazing. What is that? And of course, you're not going to say Delina. You're going to say it's Boadicea Celestial. You ain't going to say it's similar to Delina. And they're going to be like, oh my God, where can I get that? It's a Spain exclusive, baby. You know what I'm saying? You can't find this nowhere. And that's Celestial at number 7. I'm get a sample, see. But if you are not a fan of Delina, if you are a man, there's a cult male following of men who will wear Delina because we know. If you wear fragrances like Atomic Rose from Initio, which has kind of this Delina kind of thing, you know. For those who this ain't your thing, cool. We don't care. It's more for us. And that's Celestial at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is a fragrance that took the storm. It took the brand. I mean, it came in when it came out. And I mean, it really took over the fragrance space when this came out. This is a fragrance that I think most people who weren't really that familiar with Boadicea, because it always felt like this overly expensive, they would never spend that much money, kind of got introduced to the house via this fragrance. This fragrance has been compared to a lot of things, and I think all the things people say is compared to, I think you're wrong, but I understand why you say it. I just think you're absolutely wrong. But I'm also not the type that want to say everything smells like everything. But I get it. But you're wrong. It does so much more. It is the superior version. If you're going to put it in that class, it is the superior version. If this was a steak, was a Philly cheesesteak, this would be Angelo's. Yeah, other cheesesteaks are good, but Angelo's, Cooper Sharp, onions, toasted bun, is the supreme cheesesteak. And this is 1907, the Neiman Marcus exclusive. People have compared this to God of Fire. I disagree, bro. It's not mango. It's not even. There's this almost like grapefruit orange kind of thing going on, which gives it this pomelo vibe. There is clary sage in here. Tons of clary sage. Tons of it. Clary sage is a great additive for citrus in fragrances in general. But what this clary sage does, along with this, with the fruits, it almost gives me that, I don't want to say minerality, but a little bit. It gives me what H24, the original, the EDT does. H24. There's a spottiness in the mid that I can smell the nuances of H24. Like if you look at the notes on H24 and you have all these mineral and slightly aquatic kind of things going on, and you look at the notes, there are no water notes or a whole bunch of citruses and stuff, because that's the mixture of the clary sage with other things in there that gives it that nuance. It is here, and it is here heavy. But there's also this tobacco in there. This fragrance is one that summertime, it just gets people going. It's highly complimented. It's easy to wear. This is the fragrance where people who didn't ever think they would even spend a lot of money on Boadicea end up buying bottles, and a lot of people have backup bottles of this. I debated if I was going to get a backup bottle of this. If I could get one, I would only need one. I debated because being a Neiman Marcus exclusive, there's only a matter of time, I feel, before it's going to get discontinued. I don't see this being around forever and forever. And that scares me because I kind of don't want to be without. So I might circle the block if I see one, but I just have other things I would rather get before spending $400. I can do with this, but 1907. If you haven't tried it, you should get your nose on it. It is everything people said it is, and it's highly complimented. And that's what, number 6? Coming in at number 5. Yeah, Smooth. I don't get God of Fire. Sorry. You know what I mean? We're gonna agree to disagree on that. To me, that's again, to me, that's like saying every cigar smokes the same, every bourbon tastes the same. That's like saying this Widow Jane and that Jack Daniels is the same because they're both bourbons and they both came out of cask. No, they're totally different. Some people can pick out the difference, some people don't. But just saying things are the same. If you're gonna be in this game and review fragrances, I think you need to be able to review and see the nuances. And they do nothing alike. They don't. From the mineralistic aspects to anything else, I don't see it. But again, some people think Hennessy is good Hennessy, and I think it's trash Hennessy. Regular Hennessy VSOP is trash. But some people, and the white Hennessy is really trash. But people like it. They think it tastes good. I don't trust their taste in cognacs and stuff. But that's never here nor there. Yeah, I just disagree with you, and I would never tell people that. Coming in number 5. Number 5 is a fragrance that, when I tell you rose ouds, this is my second. Let me think. Coming in number 5. This is my second favorite rose oud fragrance in my collection. And depending on the day of the week, it could be number 1. This has almost everything I want from a rose oud. Everything. When I say the florals, the way May Rose was used in this is so vibrant that you would think your skin was made of rose petals. This is Carbon Sapphire. Listen, if anybody says this smells like Ombre Nomad, Joe, just stop listening. I can't listen to everybody. This is nothing like Ombre Nomad. Nothing. Not even in the same ballpark. This, unfortunately, is hard to find now. It's discontinued. I've been talking about this for years. Oh, bro. Oh, this is a man, bro. This is, a woman can wear it, but this is dark. But it's not as like animalic or dry woody. It is sensual, masculine. This is the perfect rose oud fragrance to wear to a steakhouse. See, a lot of people wear fragrances, but are you a person who dresses fragrances up? Do you dress your fragrance up? Do you go to a steakhouse, eat steak, and drink white wine? Or are you drinking a dry red wine the way you should be drinking with a steak? If you're at an Italian restaurant and you have white salsa Alfredo pasta with seafood or chicken, are you drinking bourbon? Or do you have a nice Chardonnay coming? Listen, there's levels. There's levels to getting the most out of your fragrance journey. A lot of people haven't achieved that yet. They're just wearing anything to wear anything without no strategic plan. When I'm telling you, Cigar Lounge, oh my God. Because of those smoky leathers, the leathery oud in here blends well with the tobacco smoke in the bourbon. Because you're drinking bourbon or maybe a port at the Cigar Lounge, maybe some cognac. You're drinking the brown. You ain't drinking the white. I mean, you do what you want to do, some tequila, but nah, I ain't my cup of tea. But when you're thinking those environments, nighttime, bro, there's an African spot in Prince George's County, nightclub. They got hookah and everything. I wore this there. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't say nothing else. I wore this there. That is it. That's what I'm gonna say about that. This is easily, if not arguably, yes, with Narcissi, one of my favorite rose oud fragrances within my entire collection. This is a man. This is a man. Carbon Sapphire. It's poetic. Coming up next at number 4. These next 4, it's all going to make sense why it's number 4. It's all going to make sense of why these are in this order. And really what the next 4 come down to is, how often are you wearing these? Where are you wearing these? And depending on what you do, anyone can float around and be whatever. Listen, everybody doesn't take a DNA and make it better. I'm a Boadicea fan. Listen, I was on Boadicea before everybody, outside of Rome, I think was probably one of the, at least when it comes to YouTube, one of the pioneers of like shooting the brand up as he does his yearly thing. So I'm giving him that. But outside of Rome, like everybody wasn't talking about Boadicea. They wasn't giving out free bottles. You couldn't really find them at discounters. You had to pay to play. So I'm a Boadicea fan, but I'm also a realistic, and I don't have time to lie. I don't think everything's the best. I don't think every DNA they've done that they took from somewhere else made it better. I just think it just made it more expensive, and it's cool if you want to flex it, but I don't think everyone is better. But this one is one that is done better, and that's Hasu. Bro, this took the Ganymede DNA and stripped it of anything disgusting you don't like, that mineral or whatever, took it away and made it better. The sweet woodiness of hay, the way it's used in here, chef's kiss. It's woody, citrus, highly complimented. This is signature scent worthy. I did a video the other day, wedding scents. This could have made it, but I already told y'all I could have made that list all Boadicea and Raja in other brands, Spirit of Dubai. I could have made a list with like nothing but those fragrances, but I kind of wanted to spread out the love. This could have easily been on that list. There isn't a place you can't wear this. In any season, I don't care if you're going to the beach, you can wear this. You're going to a professional setting, you can wear this. You work in the office, you can wear this. You work at Foot Locker, you can wear this. You're a bouncer at the strip club, you can wear this. This gets the hugs. This gets the love. This is Hasu. This is Ganymede done correctly. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of the Zodiac collection. I think they're cool. I think people size them. And I think fanboys get wet over them. I don't. Sorry. But this one is worth. This is worth. That's Hasu. Moving on. Coming in at number 3. Let me see where I'm at on time. Great time. Coming in at number 3 is one that for like a year I contemplated. I want to spend that money on this. I knew it was worth it, but I was just like, I'm telling you, I don't think I need to buy everything. It's hard for me to buy everything. I like money more than I like fragrances. So for me to buy something, it kind of has to be a reason. I don't think I need it for content. So I'm not content chasing, to be honest. I got enough fragrances I can, especially based on, I can recycle fragrances because that's what people do anyway. Shit, Jeremy Fragrance still talking about Sauvage and, the other stuff. He's still talking about the same stuff. Original Santal. So I can recycle fragrances. But this fragrance here, it took me a while to realize if I was going to get it. And then as I really started smelling it, and this is why you have to be able to tell differences in things. Now, can something be redundant to buy if you own something else? Yeah, there's redundancy in things. It's like, how many Jordan 1s do you need, right? But you like, yeah, but this is a different colorway. I can wear this with multiple different outfits, right? Because of this colorway, or this is a colorway I'm only because of the color, like my royal purples, my game royal purples or whatever, like it's a purple shoe. So I'm not going to get a lot of use out of that, but I still have other Jordan 1s. So it's redundant from a Jordan 1 thing, but it's different enough. That's how I look at fragrances when I'm spending upwards of 200, 300, 400, 500, 6, 7,000s. But this is Aqua Sapphire. Yes, I understand that people will say this is similar to Magnamar, which I have. They will say it's similar to Bahar from Spirit of Dubai, which I have. Absolutely. I get it, but no. Again, a lot of my nose training comes from rather understanding cigars and how they smoke on the first, second, and third, or nosing bourbons. And you can pour a whole bunch of bourbons in front of people's faces, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They would just be like, oh, it tastes good or it's smooth. That's how they describe it. It's smooth. Okay, what else you get from it? You get caramel, you get cherries, you get citruses, you get orange zest, you get lemon peel. What are you getting from it? Because there's more than that in a bourbon. Most people just be like, I don't know, I'm drinking. Give me some soda with it. This is a Mai Tai. Those other fragrances are aquatics. Yes, this goes into an aquatic realm. I get it. This is a Mai Tai. This is a Mai Tai. If you drink and you drink Mai Tais, you will get it. If you don't, you won't get it and you won't understand. But this is a Mai Tai. This is drinking a Mai Tai in the ocean water on a yacht. Anybody been on a boat? But like you on vacation in the, like I'm talking light, like them beautiful, whether you're in Greece, Mykonos somewhere, or you're in the Caribbean or Cuba. But I mean like where the water, you can see the bottom, but you're out there on a boat. You're not near the pier. The way that air smells when you're out there with clean air, water, the waters are smooth, drinks are flowing, and you're drinking a Mai Tai, that's what this is. This smells like Magic Johnson and his crew when their boats have boats. When your boat needs a boat to go to the boat, that's what this is. That's Aqua Sapphire. Yeah, there are many like it, but this is the one. Do you need to pay that money for it? Your money, figure it out. I don't really care if you do or you don't. Some people might say, I'm cool with Magnamar. Cool story. I'm not telling you you have to upgrade, but it is definitely an upgrade. It is. Coming up next at number 2, this fragrance, it is attempting to battle for number 1. It is a strong attempt to battle for number 1. The only reason it has not gotten number 1 because it was like 1 or 2 days Unfortunately, I had it on. I wasn't really in a social environment, but I didn't get compliment. That's the only reason. Yeah, I didn't get a compliment that day. With number one, the compliment probably would have came. But this one is one I absolutely glad I have in the collection. This is one where I just might double up on this, even at the price point that it's at. And the price point is astronomical, but I'll double up on it in a different way. This is powerful. This one is the Spain exclusive bottle. Again, the Spain exclusive have moved over to the Spirit of Kings in their bottles. From my understanding from people who own the Spirit of Kings version, it is the same version. I haven't smelled it. I have a connect. I just need to. I've been busy. I haven't been able to get with them, but I will confirm that hopefully within the next couple of weeks if it is the same. But I might just get the Spirit of Kings bottle just to have like 200 mLs of this DNA. I think I'll be cool. My 1 and 2, I can get rid of every other fragrance in my collection and I'll be good for life if I can just have multiple bottles of my 1 and 2. The way Aventus batch boys have like 50 Aventuses, I could have just had a whole shelf of my 1 and 2 and I would have been happy. This, if I was going to break it down in a smell, if you took Azrak and you took Aqua Sapphire and they had a baby, it would be powerful. It would be powerful. Has that floral element, that aquatic nature of being out on the ocean. Oh my God. And it performs like a champion. This is a 6 spray fragrance for me. 4 if I'm like going to be indoors like at a bar kind of thing. If I'm outside, 6 or 8. But 8 is crazy. So I'm staying really around 6. But if I really want to play with noses, 8. You have to like aquatics. You have to like a little bit of florals. You have to like a little bit of the spice. Everything I like about Azrak, everything I like about Aqua Sapphire, powerful gives me. It is the greatest merger of the two. That's at number 2. That's powerful. Coming in at number 1. I don't know if I really need to prolong this. This is number 1 because it's the only fragrance I have in my collection that when I wear this, I have received compliments. It's still undefeated. It's still undefeated. Now, it's discontinued. I try not to wear it as much now because I refuse to pay what people selling it for. I refuse. Y'all are doing it. Congratulations. I would never do that. I'm not, and it's my favorite fragrance of all time. I'm never doing that. But congratulations to those who do, because you got a bottle that you want, and that goes back to value versus worth. You know what I mean? What is the value to you? Price versus value. And this is faith. I hyped this fragrance. I hyped it when you could have got this fragrance for $500. Y'all didn't jump. I paid like $525 for this. And people say $525 for a fragrance, that's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. But you know what they're going for now? $1,100 for a full bottle. This fragrance, I'll never forget when I bought this. Like, what was it? Last year or year before last? Whenever this came out. I'll never forget when I got this. Went to my P.O. box, opened it up, sprayed it on my hand. I said, God damn. I hit the connect up who sold me this, said, hey, I need another bottle. I'm sending the PayPal over. 4 days later, I had another bottle. And then I thought this was going to be around. So I waited because 6 months after that, I was going to try to get a third bottle. But then it came out, it was discontinued, and it went from $525 to like $800. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I will not do that. And now it's from 800 to 1,000. 800 is like half a bottle. I mean, but hey, you get it how you live it. When something is rare, that's what you pay to get it. If that's your choice, that's your choice. I'm not telling you what to do. I would probably just be happy. But there's a lot of people in groups that will say, if you took Hasu and Aqua Sapphire and like layered them, you would get this. No, you won't. I own both of those. No, you won't. You won't. You might get the feeling, but you won't get this. You won't. Because there's a sweeter nature in this that an Aqua Sapphire is like a little bit like Mai Tai. It's not Mai Tai here. But you do get that Ganymede kind of feel to it. I'm glad I have a backup bottle. I'm glad. I kind of want to be. Oh my God, bro. Like, if I have 100 ml, if I was to die and I had 100 ml left, I'm going to tell my family to like crack the top of this joint open and pour it on me before they cremate me, bro. I want to burn, and yeah, I want to be cremated. But like pour the, yes, y'all not going to find it on eBay for sale. No, crack it open, whatever's left, pour on me, bro. I want to go in this like a blaze of glory. Oh my God, bro. It is I'm telling you, it is the only fragrance I've ever owned. I am undefeated. I'm undefeated. When I wear this, I get a compliment. But I wear this in situations that are social. I'm not wearing this to go grocery shopping. One, is rare. Two, it's my favorite fragrance of all time. I respect it a little bit more. This is a fragrance when I have given hugs out while wearing it. Hugs last longer than they should. They just last longer than they should. In the event I go to Scent Explorer this year, which I plan on doing it, if you wear this knowing this is my favorite fragrance, you job meat riding. I'm gonna come calling them, be like, yo, you meat riding. Like, why would you do that? It's like knowing Jordan was showing up to go play a game and you're gonna wear Jordan 11s to the court. That's kind of weird. But, you know, I ain't gonna tell you what to wear. I'll find something else. Because I feel like somebody's going to do that, and that's just going to blow me. Because I don't want to walk around smelling like you, especially if we out in the city. It's weird. Like we twinning. It's weird. But this one, the hugs last longer. The hugs last longer. The pedestrian noses, they have smelt nothing like this. And there's a sweeter nuance to it that mixing Aqua Sapphire and Hasu will never get you. Number one, my favorite fragrance in my collection, my number one fragrance in my collection. If things were going bad and I had to sell anything, Faith is going nowhere. I don't care if Faith can go up, I don't know, I ain't gonna say that. If Faith went up to like $100,000 and some rich dude was like, I seen your video, I want that. I'll pay anything, like some rare gem. I'll give you $100K. Yeah, that joint gone. That joint gone. But that'll never happen. But like, I don't care if I could get $5,000 for my bottle. I will sell everything else to equal $5,000, and $5,000 is what I need before I sell that one bottle. My favorite of all time. I'm waiting to come across a fragrance that will beat this. I have yet to smell it. You don't have to like it. You can say you smelled it wasn't that good. I'm not asking you. And I don't care. I know when I'm outside and when and where I'm outside, I know it works for me. But I guess that's why we're not the same levels. Faith at number one. So for that, those are my top 10 most complimented, not my favorite fragrances, but my most complimented Boadiceas within my collection. If I chase compliments as compliments is what I needed, I would just have those 10 fragrances and I would get rid of everything behind me and I would be good. Buy multiple bottles of whatever those are and I would be good. Multiple bottles of my top 5, my top 6, that's it. I don't need another. If all I care about is compliments, that's it. Multiple bottles of my top 6. I'll be fine. So if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. And with that, peace. Now we cutting that. Now where the questions at? Who got what for what and who got what for what? Who got smoke for me because their favorite fragrance wasn't on the list? Let's talk about it. Now we made it an hour. I'm good on that. Some people gonna fall off. If you fall off, I understand. You came here for the top 10. Hopefully I gave you the entertainment and gave you what you wanted. That's how I feel. Now, there's some fragrances, now that I'm not going to be editing this part, there's some fragrances that I wish could have made the list. Green Sapphire. I love that fragrance. If I'm doing my favorite fragrances, Green Sapphire cannot not make the list. But when it comes to compliments, I mean, don't get it like that. Sorry. Tiger. I own Tiger. I wear it a lot. But A Wondrous Flight gives me way more compliments than Tiger. It does. A Wondrous Flight from Mebesus will smoke Tiger's boots outside. Again, some people stay in their house. They go to work. They come in the house. They don't really do much of anything. They might go out to a dinner date or something like that. I'm talking about you outside, you around people, you mingling, you sitting at a bar, you chitting and shooting the shit, you talking to women. Like, I'm talking in the environment, being mixy. Everybody ain't mixy. Some of y'all don't like to be mixy, and that's cool. I'm kind of like that at some times. But some of these fragrances make you be mixy because people want to know what you're wearing. There are tons of other fragrances I got behind me. Alcout, I expect I'm gonna be wearing a lot of Alcout this autumn. That's basically their version of Hautane, kind of ooh for greatness kind of thing. I plan on wearing a lot of that. We'll see what kind of compliments that give. I'm like, Dasman could have got high compliments, but didn't cut it, bro. Didn't cut it. GS is green. Green Sapphire. Green Sapphire. Now, Green Sapphire would never be my number 1, but Green Sapphire, if I'm doing my favorite, is definitely in the top 10. Is in my top 10 easily. Valiant. Valiant. See, here's the thing. I didn't want to. If I was going to keep adding a whole bunch of honorable mentions, then I might as well just did a top 15, right? And then if I would have did top 15, I would still want to mention like 3 honorable mentions. Then it's like, well, damn, you might as well do a top 20 then, right? And then if I'm doing a top 20, then it'd be like, damn, why don't you just rank your whole shit? But then remember I told you, I'm trying to like, I'm taking these videos that are long form, I'm editing them, putting them in the regular videos. 1, that helps the algorithm, it helps my page out. And 2, it gets more people to see me because the lives people don't see. People, they might be recommended a live, but then they're going to see an hour, 2-hour video and they're going to say, I don't got time for this. And they're not clicking on it. I know. I see the algorithm. I see it. They're like, oh, that's 2 hours. I'm not watching that. I got better things to do. But if they see 20, 30 minutes, they say, oh, I can watch that a little bit. So they'll watch that and then they'll say, oh, damn, I kind of like his content. What are you talking about? So then they might catch a live if they subscribe and say, oh man, I like it here. Y'all be chilling in the chat. So that's why. But Valiant is up there but Valiant is one I really like to wear in the spring. If I was doing a wedding video in the spring, which I'll probably do, I think I'm going to do wedding videos, the wedding thing. Some people like that. I think I'm going to do it in all seasons. So I did autumn. I think when it goes dead of winter, somewhere around December, I'll do that. But Valiant, I don't know. Like, I almost want to put Enthroned up there. Enthroned is basically their version of Santal 33. Enthroned or Enthroned. That shit do numbers. It's Santal 33 without the pickle juice. But then I could have put Vetiver Imperial. Vetiver Imperial does numbers. I have it. Does numbers. It's basically a better version of Terre de Hermes. That does numbers, bro, outside. Especially if you a man, the woody nuances of cedar and alt man, bro, that shit does numbers. But then you have King of the World, which is basically their version of Montabac Intensivo. And that does numbers. That DNA is crazy. And I need to do a video. It's one, I'm telling you, I'm going to do a video called Fresh Tobacco Scents, where I'm going to take every Montabac fragrance plus that Boadicea, that King of the World, I believe, Boadicea. But I'm looking for one Montabac. I'm looking for Ivory. If I can find that, then I'm going to do the video. But I'm hunting for that. I'm hunting for that fragrance at least for the next 3-4 months, and then I might just drop the video if I can't find it. But I've even reached out to the brand. That's how pressed I am. I need that in my collection. I need it. It was a limited run. I need to acquire that because that would complete. I have every other version. So that would complete it, except for I don't have the original Montabac, but I'm not. I started at the Intensivo. I don't want to go backwards. But yeah, I mean, I could have put that up there. And to be honest, when I wear that one gets me way more compliments than Valiant. Again, some of these lists come down to, is it what you like or is it what actually works? I'm telling you, I'm outside. For me, you might be outside. It might work for you. Cool. I love that for you. But for me, Night of Love. I keep saying King of the World. But isn't there a King of the World fragrance? Night of Love, though. Yeah, Night of Love. But let me see. Amethyst is discontinued now. Smells similar to Harriet. I don't get Harriet. I don't. And I'm going to tell you why I don't get Harriet. Harriet has a particular note in there that makes it different than any of tobacco fragrance you're ever going to smell and find. And that's the is that osmanthus? I think it's osmanthus that's in here. That makes it different from it has that peachy floral smell with wrapped in tobacco. I don't get that from amethyst. It's straight up cinnamon, leather. Amethyst is a stripped down the king, and I smoke them side by side. It's a stripped down, like you take the king, you take away the booze, you take away the plum, because that's cinnamon, amber, leather. Like it is a stripped down version of the king. Where does the king lie? The king is a personal love for me. Compliments, compliments is kind of a compliments don't come rolling in with the king for me. It don't. But I've gotten compliments on it, but I'm talking about where, like, bro, these 10 I'm talking about, carbon sapphire, when I'm outside, I'm telling you, bro, this does, bro. I've had the king outside in the same environments. Didn't work like carbon sapphire. On a personal level, I love the booziness that the king offers, but then I'll just be lying to you because I'm putting what I like where just to know. I'm telling you, I like these other fragrances. Y'all know how much I like blue sapphire. Most of y'all probably would have expected blue sapphire to be number 2 or number 3. Sorry, it was number 7. And it's my second favorite fragrance of all time. It made number 7. Let me see. Yeah. Terrell. Yeah, carbon. Listen, I love Dasman. Don't get it twisted. In the beauty, so hold on, where's this fragrance at? The beauty I love about Alsef or Alsif, somebody is one of my Middle Eastern brothers who speak the native tongue. Please correct me in the comments. I'll try to see it. The beauty about this is when you smell it, next to certain other rose ouds from the house, it teaches you how bright jasmine is. When you spray this and you spray jasmine on one hand, jasmine really goes into that sweet wine-like nuance. Woody wine, oak barrel cask, like it goes there. Very sweet. This doesn't do that. When you wear this besides Namir or Namur, it teaches you how bright Namur is in comparison to this. Yes, some of these have similar nuances. They're rose ouds, but when you really break it down, and that's what people should be trying to do. When you're drinking a good bourbon, figure out what you're smelling. Get 2 different bourbons. Smell them both. Nose both of them. But I wouldn't do it in a tumbler glass. I have nosing glasses for that. I have a Glencairn glasses for that. But like nose it. Maybe add a little bit of distilled water into it to bring out the aromas. Nose it. Be able to pick out what Jack Daniels. Like when you smell enough, you'll say Jack Daniels got that banana, almost like banana nut bread. In all of that's a DNA they have in there, that banana nut. Other ones don't have it. Most people will never pick that up. They'll smell it. They'll smell this Widow Jane. They'll smell Jack Daniels. They'll say they smell the same. A lot of people are like that because they don't care enough. They just be like, bro, I just want something smooth to drink. But if you're in the fragrances, everything around you, you should be smelling nuances and what make them different. And once you smell that and you're able to pick that out in your head, nobody can be able to tell you that smells like that. You'd be like, bro, what? Like this bourbon doesn't have banana nut bread in it. It's not the same. Or this bourbon has a hint of chestnut, charred chestnut. I got a bourbon from Texas. I don't drink as much unless I want a really Nicaraguan cigar and I want a smoky taste. That bourbon is what you would call meaty. And what they mean by meaty is it has a barbecue-like taste to it. Like charred, it's very smoky. It has a barbecue-like taste to it. When you taste it, you'd be like, yo, I feel like I just been eating some barbecue. It has that taste to it. Everything doesn't have that. Is it blue corn or red corn? Blue corn tastes different than red corn. You have to be able to pick that out. And once you be able to pick stuff like that out, you will smell fragrances totally different. And then when people be like, oh, this is kind of like that, you'd be like, yeah, no. No, a Corvette is not a Ferrari. I don't care how fast it can go. It's not a Ferrari. You can say what you want to say. It's not. Can you do a top 10 for women? One, I appreciate you being here. We don't have a lot of women. I think last time I looked at my analytics, my female viewership was somewhere in like the 0.08%. So I appreciate you being a part of the 0.08%. I don't really have, I guess I could use some unisex scents, but the problem with that is, and I'm gonna be totally honest with you, if that's the case, I would need you to I don't know, get a lot of your female friends or women friends to subscribe and watch content, because it doesn't serve me or the channel to do a whole hour. And I'm just being honest with you, do a whole hour video on women's scents when they really can care less. And my viewership can care less. It's like I'm in Little Italy I'm trying to sell hot dogs or something, but everybody want pizza. But I'm like, yeah, but you need to try these hot dogs. They like, nah, we prefer to have pizza. It's trying to sell that is just, I don't know, it's counterproductive in the grand scheme of it. So keep trying, get centrifugal force on the stream. I tried because I'm telling you, man, listen, I just think my collection ain't about how many fragrances you have. It's what you have. And I got shit that I don't talk about. A lot of stuff I don't talk about for whatever reason. One is because I wasn't doing this. Like now, y'all getting used to me doing content 3 times a week. Like tomorrow, I got something special. Tomorrow, if you watch and tune in, I'm gonna have a special guest. We're gonna have some fun. It's not Cuba though, but we're gonna have some fun. But tune in tomorrow for the uncensored. Decipher Uncensored tomorrow. Tune in for that tomorrow. We're gonna have a little bit of fun with that. I tried to get Centrifugal Eric on. I sent him a message. I showed him when I was trying to do the verse sense. I sent him a message. I kind of showed him some verse sense lives to be like, hey, this is kind of what I'm doing. I don't know if you kind of with it. Eric be busy. Eric doing the military thing. He teaches karate. Or taekwondo. I don't want to disrespect his art, but he teaches kind of that, or it could be judo. I don't know, but I know he teaches martial arts. I'll just say martial arts. So he is a family man. He got his wife and kids. Eric's not somebody who's going to drop videos every day of the week. He kind of drop when he want to drop. He kind of drop like I was doing. When I feel like dropping, I'll drop. So he got his own life, but I sent him stuff and he never really kind of replied to it. I sent it to him on Facebook. He never replied like, yeah, I'm down or whatever the case is. Because I was going to line him up. I was going to do a video, Rose Ooze, and I was going to wipe him clean on verses. I was going to line him up. He would have said this fragrance. Yeah, I wish he would have said a Moncler or a Mancera. I would have wiped him clean. I would have dogged him in a verse sense battle. He ain't want no smoke. I'm not saying that he looked at it and said, I don't want to come on because I don't want no smoke, but I would have dog walked him on road. And he got a collection. He one of the greats, but I was going to dog him. Yeah, I'm being honest. Andy a DJ. Yeah, I mean, I stand by that. But he loved his Manceras and Montall. If he would have pulled one of them joints out, bro, it would have been a wrap for him. Part of me, why I don't talk about some fragrances in KC be like, yeah, I'm with it. I'm going to smoke his boots with some shit I never talked about. And some stuff that nobody ever talked about. It would have been good, though, because he's funny. So entertainment-wise, it ain't really about me winning enough, and it's the entertainment value. I find Eric to be funny with that Boston accent. That is hilarious. My DC accent, his Boston accent, he don't be giving a fuck, and I don't care either. That would have been a hilarious. The way he described fragrances, bro, that would have been a hilarious verse since, but it just never happened. It never happened. But I was gonna say the best rose ouds or the best oud fragrances. Let's go 10 for 10. Give me your best, I'll give you my best. And I was gonna bring up some houses that, yeah. I'll mess around and brought up some Attars out here and smoked his boots. But Eric, I respect Eric though. Eric, my guy. Eric got smoked. Eric is the king of Mancera. Back in 2017, 2018, when I was getting Mancera, I don't think that many people had more Manceras than me. Mancera been kind of disappointed in me. You know when Mancera kind of pissed me off or they disappointed me? Let me put this bottle right. I'm trying to think which fragrance kind of pissed me off. It was I think it was Fig Ecstasy. Fig Ecstasy. Fig Ecstasy was the downfall for me. I was just like, this is like Tuscan leather, but little green. And I was just like, eh. Now keep in mind, around this time, I'm buying Boadiceas and stuff, and it's like so for me, real quick, I'll get the Mancera. So for me, like I feel like I have all the Boadiceas I need. I'm kind of off the house. Not that the house not as good, but I'm kind of off of them. Well, I need to add Nebulous, but I'm not pressed to add Nebulous because I have Octavian. But I kind of need to add Nebulous, but I also need to get a sample from Lurie or somebody and see how close it is. Dog, I know people who noses I respect say they're really close, but I also look at scent differently than people because I look at it in a bourbon kind of aspect. So if they're different enough in my mind, I'll get it even at that 1K price point. I kind of want it for about 8 something, but I need to smell it before I jump out the window on that. Blue Sapphire Supercharge. I've had a couple of people in the group been trying to tell me I need to jump out the window and get that. I have a sample of that coming my way, and that could be added to the collection. But other than that, I'm not interested in the new releases from Boadicea, really. If it's another rose fragrance, I'm cool on that. I mean, Christian Provenzano cloned a lot of stuff or inspired a lot of fragrances. I don't know why he ain't do a wulong cha. Bro, we're going to be cloning this up. Do a where's your tea fragrance at? I don't know. Somebody know one. Put it in the chat. I'm looking. It's up. Let me see. Have you smelled let me see, a crazy one. CJ, I don't know if I've smelled that. Let me see if I can find that on Parfumo or something and see if I feel like I heard that. I feel like I heard that fragrance, but here's the okay. Let me see. So it's the white bottle with the three. All right, so here's a couple things. It has tuberose and osmanthus and jasmine. I'm cool on that, bro. I'm cool on that. I'm cool. First of all, to get me to really be on jasmine, it got to be done right. And I'm not the biggest fan of jasmine. Tuberose, depending on how it's used, goes a little sweet, but it can be bubblegum. Osmanthus can get like floral, feminine, peachy. Like I need some like masculine nuances to kind of flip that. It's probably a beautiful fragrance, but I'm not remotely interested in that because that don't seem like something I'm going to wear when I leave the house. It just seems like I would care. Hold on. Well, Christian, hold on. Christian Provenzano did Puritas, which somebody said is this look like looking at the notes. It looks similar in the note breakdown. I still got, I might smell Puritas, and if I did a Electimus whole house overview. I don't remember what I said it is. This might have been one of those fragrances I was like, yeah, it's beautiful, but I would rather a woman wear that. And if that's the case, I'm not remotely interested in that. Sorry. But here's the thing. A lot of people say like, you know, this fragrance is fire. That fragrance is fire. It goes back to the videos I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, and I've been doing for over a year and 2 years now on my lives is, so what? A lot of fragrances are fire. A lot of fragrances. You know how many fragrances are fire I don't own? I'm just kind of like, I think I'm good on both. Outside of Supercharge and Nebulous, possibly, I'm cool on the house. I'm moving on. I got probably 5 Rajas I need to add. 5. He has 3 coming out this year. Champagne, which would be a limited release. You're going to have to buy it, blind buy, because it's a limited release, just like Tea at Bergdorf, which I own. It's a Bergdorf. You can only get it at Bergdorf. They're not going to have it on the website. You're going to have a Bergdorf Connect who's going to have to send it to you on the phone. You have to pay. They're going to ship it to you. You're not going to see it on the website because Tea at Bergdorf was not on the website. I call my Bergdorf Connect. That's why it's good to have retail connects, and that's how I got my bottle. I did it that way. I think that's how I got my Lost in Paris too. But Lost in Paris, of course, wasn't limited. But you gotta have a connect to get that. So I want that. There's 3 I need to get from the opera. Well, 2 from the opera, and then 1 he's supposed to be coming out with an opera to close the house out, close that part out. And then I think he has another one coming out. Once I get those, I'm cool because I'm not interested in the Pierre Valet side of the house. I'm cool on that side of the house, so I'm cool. Then if I do anything else, I really need to start focusing on Xerjoff. But I'm not talking your Naxos and your Renaissance and your, shit like that. I'm talking about like, I don't know, find Begum or something, or Begum, or however you pronounce it. Pardon my French, or however you pronounce it. But like, I need to start like diving into that, because with people who talk Xerjoff, we know the Naxos and I got Neos and Starlight and all that other stuff. But there's some shit that's kind of like, you're going to pay to play. I kind of need those. You know what I'm saying? I know my guy, Yeah, I want the exclusives. And I'm telling you, I've told y'all, this is why I'm going that route, because the cloning in the amount of like, I'm over it. Personally, I'm over it, but I'm not hating. I'm over it, but do y'all thing. But I like fragrances that clone company is never going to clone, because one, enough people aren't getting free bottles of that. There's not enough videos of said fragrances that I want. So they're not going to clone that. So if you want to smell like me, you have to pay to play or have a connect or whatever the case is. You got to pay to play. So when everybody walking in the room smelling like the clone or whatever, I'm going to walk in smelling like this, going through transitions, and cool. I like being that guy. I'm okay with being that guy. People say, yeah, but my $40 get more compliments. Good for you. It's about the wearing experience for me. It's not always about the compliments. The compliments don't really make a fragrance better. Like I said, if I was going to do what I like the best, this list would look different. It would probably be more rose ouds in this list. I got Almas. Almas didn't make the list, for Christ's sakes. I got Almas. Almas did not make the list. I do my favorites. Almas is on the list. Green Sapphire didn't make the list. Green Sapphire is on the list. If I do what's my favorite is. But yeah, man, I need, but the problem with some of the Xerjoffs I'm gonna want, I don't want to blind buy it. Because if I do, I'm gonna be blown if I don't like it. And it's gonna cost probably too much to be playing them games. So that's my problem, is trying to find somebody who own those, who you trust, sampling it and chasing it down. It's kind of, I know they do really good aldehydes, and I kind of want to see who do aldehydes the best, them or Raja. Because I think Raja is supreme when it comes to aldehydes. I think Raja, Guerlain, Chanel, but I know people like Pico Valladama, and I've been avoiding that fragrance. I've just been avoiding that fragrance. And that's one that everybody can buy, but I've been avoiding that fragrance. But I think I'm ready. But I don't know. I just don't feel like spending money, to be honest. Let me see. Almas is number 1 and number 2, depending on the day. Almas is like that. Almas is like that. You already know how I feel about that joint, bro. Henry. Oh, okay. Yes. Henry. Yo, I need to get into. So there's a couple of exclusive brands. Thank you for saying it. Henry Jocks. I want to get into those. Let me see. There's another brand. Shoot, I can't think of the brand right offhand. Hold on. I know one of the fragrances my guy talk about is Elegante's Heart. Let me see if I can find it. I can't think of the brand, but they're like expensive as hell. I'm trying to think of how to spell it. Somebody know the brand? Tell me. Krigler, yes. So Krigler, I need to get into. Somebody gave me a nice 10 ml of a Krigler fragrance. It's like cognac and something. I need to revisit that. When I first smelled it, I was like, it's okay. Elegantes. I want to get into Elegantes. See, I want to get into shit that like motherfuckers don't like. Like everybody ain't walking around with Elegantes on their shelf, but that shit is gonna cost you $1K and upwards. But everybody ain't. My guy on IG has been saying that Elegante's Heart is the best boozy tobacco fragrance you can ever buy. To me, Coute is one of them. He's saying that is the best shit on the market. And Julian Rasquinet did it. So a good perfumer I know did it. So Yeah, I want to get into that. That's kind of what I want to get into, if anything. I don't know if it's a Harrods exclusive. I don't know, but I do know they sell it at Harrods. And now you talking about you ain't gonna never find out discounters. Now you really paying retail for everything, and it's like retail at a, you know what I'm saying? Like I can just do something else with. I don't know. I just be like I can do something else with my money, bro. I'm really big. Like do something else with your money. Like how much debt you got? How many you owe people money or something? Like, it's like, all right, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna spend, let's just say 2,000 on some fragrances, right? But I could have just spent that 2,000 on my home, bought some new lights in my house, remodel the room. Some people in their house longer than they are anywhere else. Why shouldn't your house be? Jokers be having all these fragrances in their house be looking mid, collection look top tier, house be mid. Like I don't know. What's important to you? I would rather kind of put it into the house because house is value. So when I go get an appraisal or sell it, it's going to get me money. So I look at things just differently. I just look at it differently. I don't know. To each his own though. You know what I mean? I ain't knocking it. Anyway, while we talk about Boadicea, what's some more? What y'all looking at getting into? Tomorrow tuned in. Tomorrow we doing uncensored. Uncensored tomorrow. We're gonna talk about some things. I am gonna have a guest on. So we'll see. Let me see. Aldehydes, Hindi al oud. See, so Michelin star. So all right. So here's my thing with Michelin star. Why do I need another lost cherry with pepper? I have Bodacious, right? And people say, yeah, but it's a little bit better than Bodacious. Yeah, but how much? How much will I need to be paying $400 for it? I can do something else with that $400. I can get another fragrance that don't smell like something else I already have. See, that's how I look at things. When I get it, some of y'all gonna say, yeah, but EQ, you got it like a million fragrances behind you. Yeah, I do get that. But I also tell you, if I was most of y'all, I wouldn't have none of this behind me either. This is a headache. It's gonna be more of it's gonna be more of a headache when I die, and somebody got to be responsible for clearing this out. Because Father Time is undefeated, contrary to popular belief. So, are you prepared for that? And part of preparation is wheels and things of that nature. And I don't know. If I'm lucky, you know what I mean? My kid's still in high school. If I'm lucky, I'm still around to walk them down the aisle for them to get married, and maybe their husbands are into fragrances. So then I'll just be like, here, yo, you can't be smelling basic around my child, bro. Step your game up. Why are you wearing those? Step your game up. Get rid of that, son. Son-in-law, you smell mid. You smell trash. Get some of this. Here, take these. I don't wear these like that much. Go take these. That's my kids gonna get married, and I'm just gonna be offloading stuff to their husbands. Be like, yo, you smell trash. Why you keep coming over for Christmas smelling basic? Bro, go into the room and grab something. You can't be around me smelling like that. I don't know why she married you. You know what I mean? Like I can bust their balls like that. And then if I'm lucky enough to be alive when I have grandkids, then I'll pass some of that on, and hopefully I have some grandsons, and then that'll be it. But I think about stuff like that. Please do a top Middle Eastern top. Oh, so here's another thing. You said Middle Eastern. So here's another thing. So I've been struggling with this. So y'all know that I'll be like, I'm not collecting, and I'm strategic with what I buy, and it need to have a purpose, and this and this and this and that. But I do want to do a Spirit of Dubai, the best of list, because I own just about everything. But the problem is the second generation, I don't own those. So I need to own those. And that's like 5 fragrances at $450 a pop, give or take. On discounters, maybe $340. I seen a few for $340, like the new Narcissi. And it's like, oh God. Ugh. When you do 5 times 1,400, it's like $3,000, bro. It's like, oh God, like that's gonna cost me like $3,000 just to do a video. Like, I don't really want to do that, but I love the house, but they also like recycling their DNA, which is basically Turkish coffee or Middle Eastern coffee, which is coffee cardamom. A lot of their fragrances have that coffee cardamom. They all have it. They all, just about all of them, outside of Abraj and like Bahar and few, they all have that shisha thing. Even Bahar has, it's like aquatic shisha. It's kind of weird. That's why when people say it smells like Magnamar or Aqua Sapphire, I'd be like, yes and no, because it's like aquatic shisha. It's like shisha by the sea. And and the other 2 fragrances aren't shisha, but that's like shisha. Raya, that's like all white florals, and I'm just not a fan of white florals, so I don't want to buy that just to buy that. Dura, the first edition Dura, smells like ass to me. It's Indian oud and aquatics, and that smells horrendous to me. And the problem with that is that fragrance, that's the one with the clam on top, the second generation with the clam, Dura. That fragrance is a ballroom filler. If Blue Sapphire is powerful, that fragrance takes, I have never smelt a fragrance that powerful. I went to Tyson's Corner to Parfum de France. I sprayed a little on my wrist. I got wafts for too long that I wanted to have. I couldn't do anything without getting wafts. And the problem is I didn't care for the fragrance. So it was just whole, bro. Oh my God, bro. Jesus Christ. That, I don't know what's in that, but that lasts forever. But I know it has Indian oud, some aqua. It is not for me. God, hey, to each his own. But I have no desire to own that fragrance. All right. Somebody text me because I've seen it. No, you know what? No, not gonna text me. I'm on live and I'm on the phone and I'm not chopping this video down. So I see some people are leaving when it get to around 1:30 something. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Let me see. What do you say? Hind al oud. Let me see. I'm probably saying it wrong. Let me see. Hind al oud. Okay, so Scent Split got a few of them. I don't care for the way the bottles look, but that's never here nor there. Let me see. Let me go on Scent. It seems like Scent Split has a whole bunch of them. Unstoppable. All right, so okay, cool. Let me see what a sample set is. So it's 50 ml bottles. 50 ml bottles for some is at Scent Split is about $2.15, but they have $15 for 2 ml. Okay, I mean, I could buy everyone they have, get them in 2 mls, do a first impression on how I think about it. I mean, that's a pretty good investment if I want to do that. But sometimes I look at showing how certain houses love who would never show me love. They got quite a few fragrances. They got a nice catalog. Hold on. They got a nice little catalog. Oud Abu Sultan. Hold on, let me see. Mint Amber Agarwood. I'm interested. I am kind of interested. Yeah. How do you do me a favor? I want to pronounce your name correctly. How do you pronounce your name? Like spell it out as if I was a 5-year-old child. Harjas. I don't know. Like some things be sound. How do I say your name? Because I don't want to butcher that up. Because I'm about to ask you some questions. if you can type that out. Damn, he smelled good. Yeah, he started a private line. Well, so he got that. So he had two different lines. He had a line where everything was in black bottles called Christian Provenzano. But I think his problem is he ain't giving out free bottles. So of course, everybody ain't gonna go out and buy $300, $400, $500 bottles, even though it's Christian Provenzano. One, he might be cloning things that he already did at Boadicea, which I might already have. Because I think he also did a Namir over there. So that would piss me off. Especially after I paid $300-$400 just to get the same fragrance he was making it. He does that too much that you just can't be blind by in everything he do. You got to be careful because you might get something you already have. Yeah, I agree. If you can get your hand on Boadicea, get them now. Because they are going to be downsizing. And that's kind of why I was like, do I need to buy another? I feel like I need like the Sapphire collection. Because I don't know if everybody kind of asked me, but like Tobacco Sapphire, Tobacco Sapphire didn't do nothing. I couldn't get jiggy with that. Tobacco Sapphire. I couldn't get jiggy with it. It's the cumin. I think the cumin was unnecessary in that fragrance. Oud Sapphire is good, and I could have it, but I don't need it. Oud Sapphire is really good. It should be in my collection, but from a oud fragrance, I have better ouds. I'd rather wear blue oud from Arabian oud before I wear that. Personally, I'll wear some of my do Samad al-Karash before I wear that. So it's like, do I need it? Hey, bro, I need to get my nose on Boadicea. Where should I start? I'm more in the fresh green, blue, not in the oud, ambers, or incense. Vetiver Imperial, Lavish, Energizer, Night of Love. I'm trying to think. Some people help them out, but that's kind of where I would go right offhand. Vetiver Imperial, Ice Twist. So Ice Twist is good. That's another one where I had an opportunity to get a bottle because I have a good sample of it that I use. I got a 10 ml of it, and I spray it. And every time I had a chance to get it, I would spray it, and then I would be like, I don't feel like paying $3 for this. It's good. It's basically strawberry daiquiri. That's what it smelled like, strawberry daiquiri to me. And I don't know if I want to walk around smelling like strawberry daiquiri. It's good. It's cool. But I also have other Rajas I rather, you know what I'm saying? Like that Chanel, less exclusive, right? Now, that's going back to the store tomorrow. I'm taking that back to the store. I'm not going to wear that shit. I'm being honest. I'm not wearing that. I sprayed it I sprayed it here when I did my first impressions. And I thought about it over time for $300. It's just like, no, I'm just going back to the store. I'm never going to wear that. It's going to sit on the shelf. When I leave the house, I reach for Boadiceas. Like when I want something dark and masculine, I don't go to Bleu De Chanel for that. I'm gonna go to Bleu De Chanel if I want something fun, easy going. Like if I want dark and masculine, I'll go to Raja. I'll go to other brands for that. So I'm cool on $300 for that. You know how many other fragrances you can get right now at the $300 price range that's cheaper? You can get Fragrance Dubois Lucius for cheaper than that. Bleu De Chanel's going back, bro. I'm not. And even though I can probably take it to the store, show my receipt, and get the 15% off and get it for around $236, bro, I can still do something else with that $236. I'm cool. I'm never going to wear that. That would be the collector in me telling me I need it because I have the other ones. But if I want that DNA, I reach for the parfum. I don't care if the new one lasts longer and projects. I do not care. That is going back. I'm cool on that fragrance. I'm cool. I'm not going to have FOMO missing out on that. I'm cool. You won't see a full review of that on my channel because it's going back and I'm not revisiting. I'm cool. I sprayed it at one time and then I thought about it because I don't want to be the type person that wear it 4 or 5 times, review it, then take it back. It's weird. I sprayed it 2 times, the same thing I would do if you blind buy anything and it don't work for you. And I said, that's cool. I'm cool on that. I'll never reach for that. I'm telling you, when I leave the house, I want to smell my best. Now, ask yourself, is that Bleu De Chanel better than the 10 fragrances I just named? The answer is no. Okay, I'm never going to wear it. So I got $300 sitting on my shelf collecting dust that 4 years from now won't even be at 50%. I'm cool on that. But if you love it, by all means, do it. Let me see. Start with, let me see. Do you like Dragon? Okay, Dragon. I'm glad I looked on my screen because it disappeared from the TV. Dragon. So Dragon is one that I've been debating on getting. I think Ramal from Spirited Dubai is better, slightly better than Dragon, but I like that ambery, vanillic, I believe Magnolia's in there. That ambery floral kind of thing that it does, I like it, but I don't know if I like it for $500. That's my problem. I like it. Do I like it for $500? Do I like it for $475? As I always said, I can do something else with that money. I can redo a room I can repaint a room in my house for that. I can do some home remodeling. Like I think about stuff like that. But if you're asking me, is it a good fragrance? Yes, it's a very good fragrance. I got a good sample of it. And every day I question. Now, the thing that making me want to get it is I know that those Zodiacs are going to go bye-bye. They're already hard to find. They're all going to go bye-bye. And will I feel some way missing out on Dragon? I might, because I like it. I want to add it, but I want to add Turned Out and Lock Me before I add that. I want to add, I'm saving money. See, I'm budgeting, saving money because I know in November or October, the new Bergdorf champagne, Roger champagne is coming out. I'm getting that. That's a blind buy. He's only going to have 100 bottles. When it's gone, it is gone. Everybody who wants tea at Bergdorf now, you're short. You're screwed. So I'm saving up. So when my Bergdorf hits me, because he's going to have one for me on sale, make sure he's going to put one on the side for me. Regardless, if there's one left and I ain't bought my bottle yet, just know he's going to tell you they're all gone. That's mine. Sorry, not sorry. That's why you have buy retail sometimes. You have connects. But I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm saving up for that. So I can spend 500, almost close to $600 for Dragon when I'm about to spend $1,000 on the Bergdorf one. That's $1,600. I'll rather just take away the $600 that I was going to spend. Now it's really $400 for champagne because I was already going to spend $600. That's how I look at things. You got to really, when you're curating your wardrobe, again, stop looking at his collection. When you're curating your wardrobe, you got to think about how you're spending your money. If you're spending it frivolously, you're going to have a lot of bullshit on your shelf. Again, Bleu De Chanel EDT, I wore that. I don't really spray that, as I said, because that's a nostalgia thing. That's one I just like to spray. I'd like to smell the bottle because I think that's an incredible DNA. The Eau de Parfum, I'm halfway through that 100. I wear that. Like I can leave the house and wear that. The Parfum, I really leave the house and wear that. The L'Exclusive, I'm not going to wear that. Terrell. Terrell, I heard is good. I think that's the one with the champagne accord, right? That's one I want, but I'm not willing to pay $800, $600 for it. I'm not willing to pay $800 for it. That's the problem. Because they're all limited runs, people are charging like $800-900. I'm not willing to pay that for that. I'm not willing to pay that. So that's just one I'm going to miss out on. I'm not willing. Sorry. Lavish is amazing. I like Lavish. I like Lavish a lot. It's grown, it's sexy. That used to not, they discontinued Lavish for some time. Then they recently brought it back like last year before last, but it disappeared. And then they brought it back. So I had to get a bottle of that just because if that goes bye-bye again, I want to have like my masculine, I'm going out, kind of thing. A few more questions. Is at 160 that is going down. I know we lost 40 since I, was like 200 when I did my top 10. They probably finished watching the top 10 and they like, all right, I came here. That's what I came here for. I'm good. I'm out. And that's respectful. That's what they came here for. So let me see. Not in the same, but play similar on skin. Which Tico, which fragrance you talking? Hindi out. Let me see. Nefarious. I heard of it, but I'm not. I need to have. Josh has a lot of them. I want to have Josh on. Let me see Nefarious. Let me see what this is about. Oud, rose, peach. Oud, rose, peach, saffron, rose, orange, neroli. That kind of smells good. Hold on. Wait a minute. Interesting. It's an interesting composition, it looks like. And I think if I find it, peach, saffron, rose, oud, orange, neroli, musk, sandalwood, oud. If I come across it, I might add that one. I don't know. I might have to talk to a couple of people I know and see what they thought. They might be like, that shit is trash. The notes look good, but it's trash. And if they tell me that, then I'm probably like good on that. Do you think it would be better for your channel if you put the mix on the other side so you're looking and talking in the same direction? No. No, because this is a live, right? So if I don't, the TV's over here to my left for the most part. If I'm doing a video, I should just be looking at the camera. That's why when I'm describing fragrances, I don't look at the comments. I'm not looking at the comments. I'm just talking to the camera because that's better for replay, actually. Nothing worse. And somebody taught me this when I first came on. And when I say taught me, it was a guy who was supporting the channel. I had my camera phone. That's when I was using a camera phone. I was looking at myself on the screen, but you can tell I'm looking at myself on the screen, but I'm like, it's like me doing a video right here and I'm looking like this, but you got to look at the red dot on the camera. So I had to train myself to like look into the lens. You can't be looking around. So my purpose is to really focus on doing the video because I'm talking to the audience, and I got to remember everybody that's in the audience isn't always in the comments. So that's one. Two, when we having the conversations, for me to look over to the left just to see what's going on, or every now and then I got my computer right in front of me when I can see it from that distance. I can see some of the comments, but it would, when I did it the old way and I was sitting at the desk, which I do have still up. When I was sitting at the desk, that was cool because the computer was literally like right in my lap, like almost in my face. So I was able to like see everything. But no, I kind of like being able to look to the left if I'm looking at comments. And then when I finish and I read a comment, then I come right back here and then I talk to you on the screen. So I don't think that's going to really hurt the channel. Yeah, I think anybody who would, I don't know, feel some kind of way about that. Now, if I want to invest in multiple cameras and I buy another camera to move over here so I can change camera lens like Kevin Samuels used to do every now and then, change the lens. So now when I'm here, I'm looking at a camera and the camera's facing me this way. I mean, I can do that, but I'm not at that point where y'all got my channel to the point where I should be doing that. When I get to 50,000 or something, then I'll think about doing that. But at 16,000 and I can barely get 200 people to hit the like button, yeah, I don't think so. But I take your constructive criticism. I'm just explaining to you why I probably won't do it. But I do appreciate your constructive criticism and your support of the channel, because clearly, if you're talking to me, you are subscribed, because I only allow subscribers to talk to me. So I'm not disregarding your opinion. I just telling you why I'm going to keep it kind of the way it is. And I say that with love. I hope you don't feel no kind of way about that. I mean, when I'm talking, I'm looking at. I don't know, bro. I mean, listen. Here's my thing. If you think that I'm lying to you, then I think you should unsubscribe to me and not follow me. You know what I'm saying? If you think any YouTuber is lying to you, I think you should. I don't know if you knew here. I think you shouldn't follow nobody who. If I have to I think you can look at enough people's content over a period of time to say, and I hope you did that with mine, to say, I like this guy. His taste align with my taste, or this person is entertaining, or I like him. If you have to second guess them, just don't watch them. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel yourself forced to watch. I mean, if you think I'm a liar, cool. I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I think you got to do what you got to do. But if I think that's how people get got, because you're trying to convince yourself that you should trust me when something's telling you you don't trust me. I think you should follow your gut, whatever that is, right? I think you should follow your gut. And you should do that over a period of time of watching content, seeing consistency, seeing kind of what ebbs and flows. Because if you don't follow your gut, then you're going to find yourself pissed. When you buy something you don't like it, then you're going to blame everybody but yourself, when at the end of the day, you should blame yourself. It's called accountability for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame nobody but yourself. At the end of the day, I'm just talking about fragrances and what I get from the fragrance. It's not my job to like hold your hand. And again, I'm just being frank with you. I hope you don't take disrespect to light. I'm kind of very direct speaker. If you're new here, I'll just speak directly. So, but I also don't want to be hold your hands. You know, I looked at my analytics. Most of the people who follow me are men above the age of 30. So I feel like I should be able to have a conversation without a lot of people getting in their feelings or emotions, right? So if you're looking at my content and you say, bro, I don't really know about this dude, I think he's lying, or something came up that you was like, damn, he kind of lied in, then I just think you should be like, yeah, you know, I don't really trust him. And that's okay. I won't feel offended. I can't please everybody. You know what I'm saying? In life, I don't go around this world trying to please everybody. I think you'll find yourself a chameleon and you'll lose yourself trying to please everybody. And I just don't think a man should behave that way. I think a man should do what a man should do. And you know what I'm saying? You will attract your people. And your people will support and stay, and those who won't will leave. And that's okay. You got to be okay with law. In life in general, in any business, life in general, you got to be okay with loss. Most businesses do not succeed, and they take a loss in the first year. If you are trying to start a business and you are taking a loss, or you're always in the red and that affects you, then this ain't really for you, right? You got to be prepared to take a loss in life. You think you might be with this girl forever. She might break up with you after 3 years of dating. You got to be prepared for losses, wins and losses. A lot of times y'all watching people on the internet and it's all wins, and all you see is the wins. You don't see the L's, because very few people get on the camera and tell you their L's. You know what I'm saying? Because the wins are more exciting, it's more glamorous. But that's why when I'm on here, and I know it might sound contradictory because I have a lot of fragrances behind me, and I'm not looking at the comments right now because I just want to have a conversation with this guy, because I think he's new here, but I think it's a good conversation for anybody. Is I have all these fragrances behind me. So it might sound contradictory when I say stop chasing stuff, because you say, well, what about you? Well, that's why I say, well, you got to look at it in a vacuum and in the lens. One, I was wise enough by talking and surrounding myself with certain people. A lot of that is having a really good accountant, which I have, a really good accountant, that I realized before I even came on YouTube, I need to have an LLC. Most of y'all watching don't have an LLC. Everything I do when I go get gas, I go to the store to buy a fragrance. Everything I do, I document. I keep track. Any fragrance I buy, I keep track. And because I don't record YouTubes all the time and I kind of get it, it's not like I have 100,000, I'm making all this money on YouTube. So I'm taking losses. So that's a write-off for me. That's a loss write-off. So I'm able to, and I make a good salary. I do okay. I do okay financially. So I find ways to, like, I got a good accountant. I'll say that. I got a good accountant. So, but I use that to my benefit, right? A lot of people don't do that. So I don't see why you would need this, because unless you're doing that. That's one. Two, I made a lot of financial mistakes when it come to this. I don't need all of this, bro. I wish I can do content and talk about a couple of fragrances every now and then. I don't think you need all of this. That's why when people say, bro, this is really good, you need to try it, I'd be like, so what? No, I don't. You can only wear one. Well, you can layer, but you can only wear one fragrance at a time, kind of, unless you're layering. And if you got a beast mode fragrance, which most people like, you're going to wear one fragrance a day if it's beast mode. So you stuck. Like when I wear Blue Sapphire, I'm stuck with it for a whole day. So how do I use this up? You know what I'm saying? So I know it's hard when I get on the camera and I say, yeah, y'all don't need this and y'all don't need that. But I got a couple of messages. I got a message from a guy the other day, and he was like, man, I appreciate, you talking to me, because I was getting frustrated because every day he would watch a lot of YouTube content. Every day there's a new clone, there's a new fragrance coming out, and you just feel like you can't catch up. See, back in the days, for those who was watching back in 2016, prior with the old school thing, first things first, top 10s was not a thing. The only time you would get a top 10 was for a seasonal video, which happened 4 times a year. Other than that, people would just do singular fragrance reviews. That's it. Then Jeremy came along and kind of changed that. And then it started getting bigger and bigger, because you started seeing success of certain people's channels growing with the more top 10s and then the money, and this became big business. And then it kind of changed, because now this is more, you need to approach content creation as a business. And that's one conversation we're going to talk tomorrow about. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for tomorrow's live. But you have to look at things that way. It's big business. So when you got, Carlos, Steve, Max, Kuba, Buck, Big Beard, Gentleman's Journey, my makers, when you start getting Mark, when you start getting these people who they just did, everything was about a singular review with the occasional list. So you felt like you can catch up and you can get things. And because the more you watch of consumerism, the more you will buy. The more you watch, the more you're going to buy. It's inevitable. You just can't. There's a reason people spend billions in advertising. There's a reason people spend billions in advertising, because it's big business. In their studies, and it's shown. That's why if you don't want to buy a lot of fragrance content, you narrow down who you watch. Watch less of it. But that's why I like to be the counter reviewer, kind of telling you, you can chill. You don't have to have it. Because every now and then you need somebody, because if you're being fed every day, you got to have it. You got to have it. You got to try it. You got to have it. And some people just don't want to spend the money for the sample. They just say, I'd rather just buy the bottle instead of the sample. that's wasting my time. Because if I really like it, then I'm paying $20 more. I paid $20 for the sample, and now I bought a fragrance. Now I'm paying $20 more than the person who bought the box. So some people justify it that way. I know I've been there, done that. So now these new videos coming out every day. Everybody's doing the top 10. It's a new fragrance you never heard of. Everybody's telling you this works. This gets compliments. So that's feeding your ego or feeding your lack of confidence. A lot of people don't have confidence. A lot of men walking around with no confidence for whatever reason or socially awkward. That is a thing. So you're watching content. Everybody's saying, especially when you get the women up there telling you, they're really selling you. They really making you a mark. And they're saying, bro, you got to have this. You got to got this. This to get the women. Oh, man, the women love this. Oh, man, pound. If my man was wearing this, I'd give him the sloppiest blowjob ever. And you're like, damn, I ain't had a good sloppy blowjob in a while. You know, she swallow. And now you're like, oh, my God, bro, I got that young. She is a Hoover. I'm calling her vacuum mouth because she takes it all in. Her throat is a daycare. She takes all the children. You know what I'm saying? Like her throat is a homeless shelter. All the children come in. So it's like, now you like, I need to buy everything. So if you don't trust everybody, I think sometimes you got to find your people. You got to narrow it down. Everybody's not going to be your cup of tea. Find your cup of tea. Consume that is entertainment first. Once you start looking at this as entertainment first, I think you'll get less frustrated. Entertainment first. Because at the end of the day, you don't trust my nose anyway. You trust your own nose. So it's like, all right, well, let me hear about some fragrances, learn about some fragrances, and be entertained at the same time. That would be my suggestion. I know we had a long conversation. I kind of ignored everybody else, but I think that's important because the message I got today with a guy telling me, like, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. I was getting frustrated. I was watching all these videos. I felt like I had to buy all the time. And like you kind of brought it back down to perspective on like talking about a wardrobe. And if it's a wardrobe and I'm looking at it as a wardrobe, what do I need? I don't need this. I like this, but I don't need it. It's the same way I like the Bleu De Chanel, the less exclusive is nice. I like it, but I don't need it. I'm never going to wear that. And I'm telling you, somebody who just said, I'm about to spend $1,000 Raja. It's not the money. I got it. I budget for it. But I say, damn, am I going to wear it? And when I leave the house, am I going to wear it over these other ones I like to wear all the time? And the answer is absolutely not. So it can go back. And I can use that money to buy something else that I really, really want. Or a whole bunch of samples. That's $300 worth of samples. You know how many samples that is? Pardon my French for people for not saying GD, but you know how many samples that is for $300 that you can buy? So that's my thoughts on that. But you're grown adult man, I'm assuming, looking at my analytics. So you gotta do what's best for you, bro. Do what's best for you. Yeah. So that's somebody said. Oh my God. Oh man, Omos, what's going on, bro? That is my biggest thing with Fragcom is like you don't really get to. I felt like back in 2016, and I do get why some of the OGs are frustrated. I do get it because it wasn't big business, and like you got a fragrance. Mancera will probably drop. Mancera was dropping a lot though, but. Like prior to Mancera, think about how long it took for us to get a Chanel this less exclusive. What, since 2018? How many years is that? So you was able to sit with the perfume and live with it. Acqua Essenziale, you was able to sit with it, enjoy it. Clones in certain brands F that up because 7 different clone companies are doing the same fragrance. Less exclusive will be cloned in 2 more months. 5 French Avenue, Lattafa, Armaf, and probably 3 other fragrances, Game of Spades. That's 4 right off the hand that I keep seeing people talk about. Off the bat, they're going to do that fragrance. So that's y'all buying 4 more fragrances because you don't want to spend $40, 40, 80, 160. Y'all are going to buy all four because now you want to see which one's the best. Or one reviewer is going to say one's the best. Another reviewer is going to say this the best. And because they're clones, they're not doing samples. So you buying the whole bottle. Now you got 400 mLs, because it's 100 ml per bottle. You got 400 mLs of a fragrance you don't even like that. You know how long it's going to take me to get through 100 mLs of that DNA? Now you got 400 mLs of it. I'm telling you, you got to watch what TikTok is turning into shopping, to like QVC. It's been that way. I've told y'all about that. Is why TikTok is a necessary evil that I got to upload over there. It's a necessary evil, especially on the fragrance side. It's a necessary evil from a content creator that you got to participate in. But it really frustrates me over there from I love this fragrances in the pushing of clones, but the pushing of clones is because people are getting paid to do it. I'm not mad at them for changing their family lives. People are making a lot of money. They're living good. They're paying bills. They're doing good for their family. Maybe they can afford to put their kid in private school now. I'm not mad at none of that because it ain't like they out here sticking up banks and killing people. But I don't want to really be inundated by it. So I don't watch it. I don't consume it. If even some of my guys, if you do a clone video, I'm probably not. I don't know. Like I try not to. I don't want to shit on it because I'm not mad. I'm not mad, and I'm not saying they wrong. I just don't know. I don't know really how I feel about it. That's it. I just don't know. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at none of them young people for doing whatever they doing. I just say, okay, well, they're doing that. That's fine. I'm going to be over here. That's like me being mad because y'all like putting Coca-Cola in y'all bourbons that I think you should be drinking straight as a man. What you chasing bourbon for, bro? Your bussy wet? Like, you know what I'm saying? With the pause, bussy. It's crazy. But I'm just saying, like, what you chasing your bourbon for? Drink it straight. Be a man. You really helped me step my taste up. Well, I appreciate that, man. Pretty soon there'll be fragrance influencers doing the same thing. Oh, you the daycare thing. You must have just got you must have just came. You must be behind. Neat, no ice. Well, sometimes I like a little bit ice. Well, no, I just like to get real talk. I think Tino opened it up. He was like, I need you to look at me because I don't know. He was a little aggressive with it, but I respect it because he subscribed. That's why I like subscribers. That's why I keep my stuff on subscribers, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have known if he was subscribed or not. And I would have probably originally, I could have took that, depending on how I'm feeling, could have took that a certain way and probably dug into him. But clearly he supports the content. I think I should give him the respect of saying, hey, even if he don't like me, support the content and give him some kind of explanation for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just love, and I hope I didn't scare him off or offend him. Bro, they getting all the bags. Folks don't understand. Bro, the bags, oh my God, bro. Some of that is going to be discussed tomorrow, so I don't want to talk about that, but I'm telling you, I am telling you for a fact, people are getting paid, bro. And when I'm saying paid, I'm talking about $50K a month, $40K a month. Y'all can hate all you want to and be upset and sitting at home, living check to check or whatever you got going on. I'm telling you, jokers are getting the bag. $10,000 to do 3 or 4 videos. Like it is. TikTok is a necessary evil. And I like money and I like being compensated for my time. So if I can get paid, but also do what I love and find that balance to it, that's cool. And I'll also say this when it comes to clones. There are really people who don't want to spend this money on the Boadicias. I don't think they're wrong for not wanting to spend that. I don't think people should aspire to spend that. Personally, if you can find a $40 or $50 or $20 alternative, I'm cool with that. I think people should be able to do that. Everybody don't have the same budget, the same bills, the same money constraints. People just trying to keep their head above water. The cost of living isn't matching the cost of salary. It's a lot out here in this real world when you outside. It is a lot. To go out in DC, this little old-fashioned drink, I put a double or triple in here, bro, that's probably like $100 with tip. My bottle wasn't even $100. This whole bottle wasn't even $100. This about $100. This little bit I got left, bro, that's probably like $40. 45, she's probably more. It's probably like what I'm about to pour in here, probably like $75. Boom, $75. I just drunk. Bro, it's expensive to go outside, bro. Outside is expensive. And that's just to have a social life. Then you want to be a man and go out and find a woman to date because you want to be a husband, but it costs to do that. Now it costs to date. And now they putting pressures on men to provide on the cost of living. Then you come on the internet. That's why you got to log off and go outside. Then you come on the internet and all you hear is women saying, if a man don't do this, he can't do this and he can't do this. But you know you live in check to check, taking care of yourself. So now you got the internet telling you you ain't shit. And you damn want to, then you got people, me telling you a top 10 Boadicea, but you like, I can't afford that. So now you feel some kind of way. You can be mad, but that mad is really you feel some kind of way financially. Some people who hate is financially they can't do that and still live their life and do other things. So now you're going to lash out and project, and now you feeling some kind of way, and now you depressed because now you got to keep up an image that you really can't afford to keep up. That shit is fucked up out here, bro. It is fucked up out here, especially as a man. I get it. So if I can provide some content that says, hey, you can get some of the same. I talked about this in if you ain't caught my last live when I talked about compliments, catch it. I said, okay, I got this. I paid X amount for this. Guess what? Women said, hey, you smell good. That smell really good. Guess what? I can get a $20 fragrance and I can get the same reaction. It ain't like the girl smelt that and all of a sudden was like, hey, come to the back. I'm trying to give you something. Then that'll be different. Yeah, you got that. I smell good fragrance, but I got that. I'm going to give you some fragrance. That's different. But you know that's not happening in the real world. And that's why sometimes, like, I did the video the other day. The internet ain't real. I did that video. Internet ain't real. And listen, the whole, panty droppers, hair turning fragrances and all those, we gotta come up with names for algorithm purposes. We gotta do that. And if you're putting out content every day, you're going to recycle names. You're going to recycle if I only had 3, if I only had 4, head turners, compliment gettings, ones you must have, because I'm doing content every day because I'm monetizing my content. But on the flip side, people are watching this stuff every day and they're being reinforced these things. Y'all being enforced that women need a man with money. But I'm out here seeing women getting pregnant by broke motherfuckers. So do you really need it? The internet is a wild place, bro. It's not real. But when you constantly consume bullshit, you'll believe it enough. If enough people say a fragrance smells just like 100% like it, how many times you looked at a Fragrantica review and somebody said, you look at the Fragrantica review and somebody said, and they did a review on, let's say they got Game of Spades got a clone of Faith. Somebody would really write a review and say, listen, I never smelt Faith, but this Game of Spades, so-and-so, I get this and this from. You did a whole review under Faith and you don't even own Faith. You know why? Because somebody that owned Faith came on the fucking internet and said, bro, this shit is like 80%, 90%. And you, without you smelling it, will regurgitate that bullshit. Enough people say it, you will believe it. You can't help yourself. That's why you got to also be mindful on what you call yourself. What you call yourself. How you refer to yourself. Hint, hint, clue, clue. I ain't going to go down that line, but those who hear me, hear me. What you call yourself, how you view yourself, and how you refer to yourself will be how you conduct yourself and how you carry yourself. Hint, hint, clue, clue. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Be mindful. Be mindful. That's it. Be mindful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Women out here getting pregnant by dudes who don't even got their own place. Don't tell me every man need money. This man still got white appliances. I'm sorry if you got white appliances. I apologize. I ain't trying to knock you, but yo, get some stainless steel joints. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like low budget stainless steel, but get stainless steel. I'm just saying, man, like the whole I need money. Listen, babies are being born every day. Every day there's a baby getting born. Those ain't being born by rich dudes. And all those dudes got 100K. Go lie to somebody else. I'm outside. I don't live life on the internet. I don't live life. I'll go on the internet, I'll comment some shit, boop, 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 boop. And then I'm kind of off of it. And I kind of like, I'm in the real world. Internet is fake. But that's my only problem. Like sometimes I battle with the morality of like, how can I put out content constantly to help my channel grow so I can give y'all this game without really playing the game of saying of these like cringeworthy titles sometimes? How can I do that without the cringeworthy titles? And I just don't know how to do that yet. And it's like you got to play the game, but I don't really want to play the game. But I don't want to feel like I'm sold out. But I also got game to give. So how do you play the game and still give game is a balance that I haven't figured out yet morally. I haven't figured that out yet. So I'm going against the grain. I'm doing it my way. I'm having these kind of conversations on my lives. I'm doing lives. I'm trying to, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to chop some of these lives up and I'm going to put them on regular video. Some people say, oh, that's double time in your monetization. Yeah, it is. But that ain't really the sole purpose, is because I can get more ears, more eyes, grow the channel, put out more game. Because I'm fighting against an algorithm that says get pussy, turn heads, drop draws. And I'm not saying these people are wrong. They're playing the game. I'm just saying I have trouble on a personal level for me. I don't care if anybody else play the game. They ain't robbing banks and hurting children. But on a personal level, I just struggle with that. I struggle with how can I do this and still get that? Like if a clone company reached out to me and said, hey, you know what I mean? We want to send you a whole bunch of fragrances, right? And get your thoughts. Now, my first thing is like, I'm going to give you what you want, but be mindful that if I say these shits is mid, it's mid. And take the check. Still put out information for people who shouldn't be spending $500, $1,000 on a fragrance. Come on, man. Some of y'all run y'all credit reports. Y'all shouldn't really fix your credit. You can't afford to do this. Yeah, I can afford it. No, you can't. Your credit report says otherwise. So when you try to go get a house because you want something to pass down to your children, you can't even qualify for it. No, you can't afford it. You're paying for it, but you can't afford it. But how do I put that information out where, because I'm not going to buy it, because I'm not interested in buying $20, $40 fragrances. I'm not interested. But if a company sends something to me and I'm like, well, shit, yeah, y'all cut everybody else the check, cut me the fucking check too. But I'll talk to my people and I'll provide some information to them. But then if I do that, did I sell out? I don't know. I struggle with that, bro. I struggle with that. I was on the phone with my guy about that. I was on the phone with my guy about that. I struggle with that. But I also like money. But I also have, you know what I mean? I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't figured that out yet. When I figure that out, I'll figure that out. But I don't have that path to cross because none of those companies are reaching out to me. So when that path come, I'll discuss it. I'll have a conversation in here and, on a live or something and, see what people think. Or maybe I'll do it in my Facebook group because I know those people subscribe and they invested in what I'm building, fully invested. Not saying if you're not in there, you're not, but I just know for a fact. So I kind of take their word for more. But I don't want to feel like I let people down either, though. Some people be like, yo, we fucks with you, OG. I don't know. It's some young people, young men, 30s that, I don't know. I struggle. I struggle with it. Sorry for being on a rant, but that's just me being transparent with you. Even though we like in 2 hours and 20 some minutes and 140 people, but I know those 140 people that rock with me really rock with me. So I'm talking to y'all. For everybody who was looking to get some clickbaits or whatever, I ain't really talking to you. I'm talking to the people in the chat. So I don't know. I struggle. I struggle with that. I struggle with that. I struggle with indie house. Like I got an indie house that reached out to me on IG that's sending me something that's already in the mail, right? Some fragrances. And that's scary to me because I'm not going to lie, right? I'm not going to lie. But in this world of big business where what you say could ruin a company, especially an indie brand who they already fighting against not being able to be seen because they don't have the money, because if they go to some channels be like, yeah, I can do it, but you got to pay me. They can't afford to do that. So they find smaller channels to send stuff out to who will be willing to do it. And I understand that the power of the tongue, the power of your words, you got to be responsible for your words, man. And depending on what I say could break a company. But I'm not lying either, though. So I got to say it. Now, if Roger sent me something, I don't have, like if Boadicea sent me, a fragrance I ain't like, Faith, I'll if I ain't like it, I'll bang on this joint. Why? Because me banging on it ain't gonna, me banging on Parfums de Marly is $1 billion company. They'll be fine. Me banging on, Joe Smo trying to do the best that he can because he loves fragrances and want to make some fragrances, me saying whatever could kill that motherfucker's dreams and everything else they got going on. But this independent company sending me some stuff and I'm scared, but I'm going to keep it in the box or whatever packaging it is, and I'm going to unbox it on camera, and I'm going to give you what I can give you as respectful and as gently as I can give it. But I do struggle with that because it's hard out here. That's the other part of business that I might get into in the conversation tomorrow. It's like, well, I kind of want to get that with an independent. I want to talk to Chris. Because how do you struggle as an independent fragrance perfumer trying to get into the game, trying to get up in fighting against the influencer market now is big business? How do you deal with that? It almost reminds me when Target, Walmart, Best Buy all came into business, it killed Radio Shack, Circus City, and the mom and pop stores. It killed those. Target, Walmart, all, Home Depot, killed Ace Hardware. Like it killed the mom and pop stores because it became big business. So as the business grows, as the clone thing grows, because no one's going to be able to match the intensity that Middle Eastern brands can throw when it comes to money. You know how much money they got in Dubai? Bro, they buy exotic animals for sport. They buy exotic animals for sport and put them in a fucking Bugatti, a $1 million car. Bro, I won't even let I don't even want your Chihuahua in my whatever car. Ain't nobody gonna match that money. So as long as they got money to spend for influencers, it's going to be hard for anybody else that ain't already Parfums de Marly and Raja to get into there unless they develop a cool relationship with somebody who has a little bit of influence, who ain't about to break their pockets when they say, hey, can you review my fragrances? But in a minute, there's going to be a time where people, it's rough. It's rough out here. Business is rough. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like. I just don't know. Part of me is like, if I had, and I'm gonna be transparent here, man. I asked myself, I said, if I had 100K subs in day 3, Mike from day 3 had reached out to me when he reached out to me and said, hey, can you review my fragrances, right? Would I have charged him? My integrity as a man and my honesty, because the relationship I built with him now, what makes me want to say no, but I don't know that to be true. Because this is a advertising space, my channel. So you being on my channel could get you more eyes, which gets you money that I'm really not going to see. So how do you balance somebody who's already like Mike or Chris Classic or some of these other brands who's already working at a small profit margin? How do you balance getting eyes, paying for that, and still turning your little small profit that you can turn over a period? I don't know, bro. I don't know. And that's scary. I would want to think if I got big enough that I don't really want to call them charity work, but I'll be willing to be like, all right, send a bottle. I fucks with you. But that's because Mike, Zaharoff, and all these other brands rock with me when I was smaller. Some of these brands that didn't rock with me and I turn around, I got 100K, I'm going to tax them. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I struggle with that. I struggle with where are we going as a community? Where are we going as an industry? I don't with money. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I for real struggle with that. So I don't know, man. That's why the setup affiliate link and council creator gets a percentage. What's good, chat? Yeah, I appreciate. I mean, and that's the thing. You get affiliate links. But you have to. The thing with affiliate links, though, Fat Boy, is like, can they afford to do that? I don't know. I don't know people's profit margins. You know what I'm saying? Some people, you talking about a startup company, and when you look at business, most businesses fail in the first year, and they put in blood, sweat, and tears. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Because I want to see people win, but I also don't want to be used. Because if I know I have a certain level of influence and I have a certain level of eyes, I don't think I should bend over and just let you use me. Sometimes I feel bad sitting here talking about these Boadiceas. These motherfuckers about to make a couple of billets on me. And I'm not going to see a penny of that shit. A penny. You just commented something. Let me see if it go up on the screen. I doubt startup companies. Hold on. I doubt startup company. I don't know about startup, but I can personally attest if you can move the needle. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I struggle. You know what I'm saying? I struggle with, my integrity in this. My father always said, man, in this world, you only got one thing. You got your word. Your word in life is all you have. And we got 1:30, so I'm be closing it out here in a minute. But I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna end it. Yeah, in life, your word is all you have. And when that's gone, you're fucked. A man with no word is nothing. If people can't trust that you're gonna say what you say, be where you're supposed to be, and do what you're gonna do, you ain't shit as a man. Bro, your word, you gotta guard that with your life. Your integrity, doing what's right when no one's looking. That is the cornerstone of who you are as a man. That is the cornerstone. So, I don't know, man. I struggle. I struggle with it. My channel growing, and what do I do, and what does that look like, and how do I service the community, and how do I don't. Sometimes I feel bad recommending these $1,000 fragrances when some of y'all really shouldn't be buying this shit anyway financially. Forget the fact that I'm selling stuff that Boadicea. If I said I was doing the Boadicea won't even repost my shit on IG. If I tag them, they won't repost my shit on IG. They don't give a fuck about me. They won't repost my shit on IG. They don't give two shits. So they're going to make money off my review. They don't give two shits about me. Like, they making money off of my review. Chanel don't give a shit. But yet I'm giving people access to my audience. It's crazy. Who owns their own business getting professional discounts on facts, so don't jeopardize your integrity. But here's the thing. What is integrity though? I guess my thing is almost like, what's the integrity? Can you still get the money and still have integrity, or are people too cynical to like understand the both? That's why, like tomorrow we're gonna talk business. Tomorrow, this conversation, I'm kind of going into tomorrow's conversation with business, but I think the conversation is going to go into business and a few other things when it comes to the fragrance community with my guests. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just some things that be in my head when I look at the landscape. Again, these young kids are doing their thing, man. I applaud them. Me personally, though, I'm not hanging out with high school kids. You're never going to see me at a function like hanging out with her. And it ain't because I hate y'all, bro. But I'm not R. Kelly. I'm not, I don't really want to be hanging out. I'm a grown man, bro. I don't want to be I'm drinking, I'm having a bourbon. I don't really want to be in the same space with a 16-year-old. I don't care if you got 1 million followers, bro. I'm cool. I don't want to hang out with you. That's not hate. I'm just not into that. I come from a different era, pre-internet. And if you're watching this and you see me, it's not hate. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the fact that you can be in your 20s, making money, being able to do for your parents. You probably bought your mom a car. You're doing things that I could have never achieved at my age. So I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. But I ain't really trying to break bread. I'm being honest. I'm a man. I don't care that we're all in the same space. I might jump in the picture if everybody taking pictures. We can talk about some things, but I feel like it's weird. It's like I don't know. It's weird to me. It's weird. That's something else that's weird to me within this space. Yeah, man. Well, Tigo, I appreciate you. I need to read again. This is my first time. I don't know if you're first time commenting a lot on this channel, but I appreciate you asking the question and giving your insight. It opened up an honest conversation here. It kind of got away from fragrances, and I'm with the honest conversation with y'all. I'm telling you, yeah, I struggle with that, but I think there's a way to do it. I haven't figured out how to do it, but I don't have to worry about how to do it because I'm not being offered that. When I'm being offered that, I'll cross that path when I get there. But until then, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, man, I'm be doing the live, man. Sometimes on Wednesday, I'll be tired. But you're going to get 3 lives a week. Even if, let's say, like tomorrow, something happens and I'm tired and I can't get that off, then I'll give it to you on Saturday. Pause. Then I'll give you a live on Saturday. But in a week, I'm giving you 3 lives a week. And then I'm going to chop down some of these videos and make them into more videos. And I need to do reels and stuff like that to help the channel grow and do the necessary evil with TikTok. I got to get with that. If you could watch those videos, like those videos, it helps move the channel. It's really to get people to the live. I prefer the lives over videos. Personally, I prefer the lives. That's what I prefer to do. It's no mistakes. It's about as real as I can get. think if I'm recording a video and I'm doing the first impression, I can be like, damn, that stink, but I want to be nice. Ooh, what if they don't give me money? Okay, let me re-record. Let me act. Okay, action. When I'm opening, you seeing me opening up the box and I'm smelling it and all, you know what it is. You know when I be like, damn, that's good. And you know when I be like, yeah, it's all right. And this is why it's all right. That's why I like lies. But I have a brand that's sending me, I think, all their fragrances. So I'll be doing the first impression on those on a Wednesday. That's a small indie house. I pray I'm going to like them. I don't want to have a relationship with the owner or anything until I do the live. Then I'll figure it out because I want to be able to speak freely without being confined by, like, I don't know. Anyway, just tapped in running the playback. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But with that being said,
the cipher.
I appreciate y'all spending some time with me. I appreciate y'all letting me get that rant off. This is almost a 3-hour show, and we still got 127, 130 people in here. I know, we had 200 maxed out, and it's like 11 o'clock at night Eastern Standard Time. So for y'all to even, kick in, I appreciate it. For those, hit the replay, hit the like button on your way out. I rocks with y'all. I appreciate y'all giving me the space to keep it real with you.
It's the new cypher.
And with that said, I'm going to leave you the way I greeted you. That's in the universal language of peace. Y'all have a safe night, man. Peace.